is still sprinting for his own, any points are good points.
Absolutely. And, you know, it is a slab, so we're not taking too much energy to do these moves. It's more maybe skin management, although there's quite a bit of dual text on those start holds. So, yeah, I would absolutely make the same call. Like, just keep trying it, give it another shot, see if you can squeak a zone out of it, especially in a semifinal round. Zones are extremely important.
Yes, absolutely. It's typically the hardest round of the competition. We got to take a large number of climbers and shrink them down to 6 in a very eight in a very short amount of time. 4 boulders, you have to make a couple of them really only achievable by that kind of top 6 or 7, and a couple of boulders only achievable by that top 10. So we are going to see a lot of hard work at the beginning of the round from the climbers that have qualified in the lowest position. So we go reverse order here in the semifinals. So they come out from their 23rd and 24th place all the way up to first. Generally, we see more progression as we get to the middle of the field, and you can expect to see some boulders getting top by the time we get to previous national champions, World Cup athletes.
Well, that said, we do have Seb Lazur on the mat
right.
now, and he has been on our World Cup team for many years. He's been a fixture at nationals, and he did squeak into the semifinal today, but Seb can always pull something out. You know, we may just see a finalist right here.
Exactly,
and he's seeing no problem into that zone. Like, he's clearly understanding this boulder.
Holds the release perfectly.
Yeah. That's that finger strength of 20 plus years of climbing showing.
And also finger strength sort of above average even at this level.
Oh, and is he just topping this thing right now?
He is.
Amazing. Flash for Seb Lazur.
Seb Lazur flashing the opening boulder, and I do love someone who makes the semifinal out of their assumed position. So you would have expected Seb to be maybe like around 15th, in the field that we currently have. So for him to be like just barely get in and then be like, well, I actually belong way up here.
Absolutely.
So he's going to climb like someone who's going to be on the doorstep of the finals.
And
then we might see a bit of a decline for a while.
Yes. Yeah, well, he's also fighting. He's also trying to prove a point, like maybe he had an off day in the qualifier, but he's here to show he actually is one of those like kind of guaranteed semifinalists in this competition.
Yeah, he really made that look good. And so Adriana Jokelson here on Boulder 1 is, of course, trying to work it out the way everyone else has. And Morgan has made her way over to Boulder number 2. We are having a couple of issues with our monitor. So what you're going to have to bear with us on is knowing, for now, while we try and get this sorted out, knowing what you're seeing. So I might pull the stream up, and we'll just sort of deal with it that way, even though there's a bit of a delay, but that's okay. We'll work it out. So bear with us as we try and get some technology sorted. There's lots of people using Bluetooth and Wi-Fi in a climbing gym, so it can be a bit of an adventure. But meanwhile, we got about 2.5 minutes and a couple of really hard boulders.
Yeah, these women's one are definitely not easy today. I don't think any of them are gimmies. The one that I thought was the easiest, one of the route setters told me was actually the hardest one.
With all your, but I just let you in as an experienced World Cup competitor, and that's what happens, right? Even so, I mean, I'm sure you've had moments where you've walked out, previewed a boulder, and thought that's going to be a nightmare, and then flashed it, and then the opposite.
Yeah. Yeah, and also, like, what looks easy to me may not look easy to someone else. You know, I see a crimp and I think, oh, look, it's jugs. You know, other people say crimp and think, uh-oh, that's going to be very difficult. So when I see a crimp line, I'm like, okay, this one looks like obviously the easiest one, which is apparently not how most people approach those kinds of boulders.
No, and I'm the same. You show me crimps, I'm like, I'll do that all day.
Yeah.
There was a boulder in the Dock Masters. I was like, I'm pretty sure I could do that boulder because it had like half-pack crimps on it. And there is in the movement to modern route setting, as we look through these boulders, there's only 3 crimps that I see out of 8 boulders really on the wall.
Yeah.
So we've moved to different kind of more physical climbing, like more full body climbing.
Yeah.
Which is keeps the movement interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so we have the stream up now, so we can now confidently tell you that you are watching both Adriana and Morgan. And I'm going to split the screen on my...
Oh, and Morgan 6 the zone.
Oh, gets it.
Yeah, interesting. I definitely thought we'd be just going straight to the volume. Looks like there was a lot of chalk on the volume, but she was was definitely finding it easier to just go to the zone. Yeah, it's very temperamental. You kind of have to commit fully to whatever you're going to do in that position. She seemed to try to find something at the top of the volume, but it wasn't quite enough. And, you know, when you've kind of committed to that, there's no going back. You can't really fix your attempt after that. But it definitely seems like she's learned this zone move.
Right.
But it is still hard, so it's sometimes inconsistent. And we're running low on time. We've got about 13 seconds left on the clock.
And that's the classic problem, is that you're like, oh, I've learned this move, but now I've run out of time. And P.S., just because I've learned it doesn't mean I can do it or execute.
And as long as you've gotten the zone on one of those attempts, you know, we don't get the top. That's not the biggest deal in the semifinal round. So, of course, this new format, for the past couple of years, we have this 15-second transition period where athletes have a chance to get off the mats. But then once the timer starts again, all these climbers are now on the clock, so they don't have any time. So they're running out to their boulders to make sure they get there and don't waste any of their 5 minutes in being able to sequence their boulders.
Which is something that's worth noting if you're not super familiar with semifinals or competition climbing in general. What you have here is on-site climbing. So the climbers have no prior knowledge of these boulders. They have to read the sequence and then execute all on their own. There is no preview time. There is no anyone else to talk to. And that reading the boulder can be some of the hardest work.
Well, this is the only round in the entire competition where you don't get to look at them first. The qualifier round, you were actually able to watch every single competitor you wanted climb on those qualifier boulders. So this is a very difficult round for many, many reasons. Up on the first boulder, we have Riley Dordery, and taking a first look at his round is going to be Antoine Caron. So Riley looks like she understands the movement and very close. That's probably the closest we've seen to sticking that move so far. So I'm sure she's feeling very motivated by that attempt. She's got a good amount of time left, 3.5 minutes. So I think we're probably going to see something on this first women's boulder.
We also have Elliot fighting his way through the start of boulder 1, getting up into that super awkward position and then not being able to walk it away. So you see the difference there. Once Seb was in that position, he dropped into that kind of flag position to match so effectively.
Well, it's all about trusting your finger strength and the foot at the same time. Two things can't fail when you're committing to doing that move. When you're in the semifinal round, it's very tempting to be fully committing to some of these moves.
Getting a little brushing time here. Also getting close, but not really being able to stick the squeeze part of this move. And I mean, it's right where maybe she needs to be going a little bit more and go.
Honestly, I think it is her foot placement. She's stepping a little too close to the wall. And that attempt, you can see she was a bit closer and her foot was way further away. And so it's not only about having it further away from the wall, but also a little bit to the right because the volume is placed a little bit off-center to the left. You're trying to grab. So if your foot is too far to the left, you're kind of going to be off balance and you're going to have a lot of pressure on your left hand. So being able to step far away from the wall and right, really aiming. It's a big volume, so there's a lot of places your foot could land. So it is hard to kind of coordinate exactly where you want your feet to go on that boulder.
And I do love that the disconnect now in these large volumes there, and she does get it. The disconnect between, oh, well, the foothold's so big you can stand anywhere. It's like, no, the foothold is still the size of a foothold a lot of the time.
Exactly.
They're just, now you have to decide rather than the route setters being like, put your foot exactly here.
Well, you can see on women's one, I think the limiting factor for this first move, like, yes, it is hard to coordinate everything, but those feet are atrocious.
They are so bad.
So many foot slips we're seeing on this first boulder.
And even there, you see that she's only half committed because the foot's not even aiming for the volume, right? So she's just trying to piece together the hand coordination and then be like, maybe my feet will catch up. But you really need to think about all 4 points.
Oh, and Grace Cam has secured the zone, and we'll see how far she can get on the rest of this boulder. She's still got 30 seconds left. Yeah, so honestly, getting zone is absolutely A-okay at this point in the competition. That is a great result. And she thinks she can get the top, so she's going again.
Yeah, and that a little bit of desperation does kick in.
Oh, and so close for Anne on boulder 1.
She's got just enough time, and if you stick this move, you're pretty much going to get a zone. So there is no harm in going in. As you say, there's not a lot of fatigue.
Afterwards, you're really just resting your calves. You're good to go, especially as we move into. Do know there's often a route map back in ISO. They know what they can't afford to waste a little bit of their calf strength.
They'll end up in their arm strength. So we're going to see Antoine Caron. Adriana Jokelson on 2, and then Morgan Schmitter has made boulder number 3. And again, we are working on what you're seeing at home is delayed from what we're seeing here. So we kind of be a bit predicting to what's going on. So we have several hours of rock climbing to go. I'm sure we will sort it out. And I suspect that we're currently watching Riley try the first move, who's probably one of the biggest climbers in the field. Doing a pretty good job of it. Much pressure. You can only smear so much. Goes out.
Yeah, especially when you're smearing on something that's kind of rounded, is not. And it looks like Seb Lazur. It's our third men's boulder, and it looks. One in the cave coming up, but this one, based on like the underclinging, they're giving you all these moves. It's you can create an even more powerful boulder than something in this steep by be that much worse, so that you have to almost rely entirely on your hands.
Yeah, how not how the volume is. We're going to see some people trying to be creative on that large volume for their feet, but that's going to be a fun boulder to watch play out. And we've got Adriana.
Oh,
ooh, interesting.
That beta.
I don't mind that at all. Once you've got that zone, it's you have to control the zone and then use it. So you need to change position, move a foot, shift your hips, start pulling, and then you made the ability to move to the next hold. And Seb is, I mean, with the footholds that have been given, make just that transition.
Being tactful. These athletes are going to have to start thinking about attempts and try to pace themselves as we move through all 4 of these boulders. On boulder round, we need to put something on our scorecard for every single boulder.
Antoine back into position here, getting through. Trying to find a way, and he's also, I think, going to look for that toe hook. Yeah, although it feels like climbing. It's going to be horrible. It's securing the moment.
Exactly. Yeah, I would probably try that. Be like reach all the way out to the black volume.
And then
other foot chip. It's pretty rough stuff there.
Yeah. Doherty is sort of making that same face. Seb now getting through the zone, staring down what proves to be an interesting. Wow. Bit 20 seconds on the clock. That's probably going to do it. You saw how gassed.
I think I counted 3 attempts on a very, very tough boulder.
Adriana Jokelson has created the finish position and ensure as well the best position to finish that boulder in, but that is clock runs down to 0. I always want to like wave to my friends as they come up. Well, competing for so long that he's got that
a million times for sure.
Vaccine, and it's great to see that he's just still training.
Now, and he's still taking the trip all the way out to Calgary to be here at Nationals. So he clearly loves
Tanny and Sophia Bada have a Elliot Robert and Willette. Pretty sure we're going to be watching number 1 at the start here. So Dylan and Sophia. Dylan right up into that position pretty quickly and looks comfortable on boulder 1 to this point.
No, yeah, and you know, it depends on how much experience some of these athletes have. If they're ready hard immediately out of the gate, some maybe are a bit, sometimes it's a bit of a shock factor on that first attempt.
That you are at Nationals.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this is one of the steps. And I'll ask you about it in a little bit. This is one of the steps. It's not the only. Your result here is not the only stages in the process. And then we also have some interesting tier our national team. I love the way it's been growing. If you go back, so we're making strides in the right direction. Up into position, Sophia really going for that.
Years, she's definitely made herself a fixture in our semifinal round. So I have no doubt she's going to put out a good performance today. Looking for a zone.
As are we all. Yeah, we thought this maybe one of the easier boulders of the round, a bit physical overall, but not confusing.
Well, sometimes that's the hardest part, when it is that the moves themselves that make it so difficult.
And
oh, amazing.
Good stuff from approaching that finish position, and this is now top of the hold.
Yeah, I think all the volumes on that boulder are quite good, except for the finish volume competition. Many of these holds are new. Many of them are just cleaned and have never been touched before. Numbers that are going out a little bit earlier in the competition, they get a little qualifying. Athletes are going to actually have a little bit of a these boulders. They're so new, you can get it almost, you know, brand new by just giving it the
this round, where we're the opposite side of modern to be damper and as clean as possible. You want, like here, because you want to have a little bit of a barrier. Like everybody's going to have a use liquid chalk. Like we like to get into as competitors into what we think is making a difference, and we're allowed. The margins are so thin. I want my soft shoes. I want brands, and like there's so many variables of why a boulder is going to feel. 15 seconds to go now. I think that's probably going to do it.
A lot of fighting
Sophia,
going on.
Yeah,
though.
a lot of people taking that last swing, and the roof.
It's about more inconsistent boulder sports out there. So we see a lot of variety in who's in the finals, who's winning events, because it is there's so many holds, there's so many different types of, there's so many holds, there's so many different types of moves to go through.
I absolutely love that perspective, and because it does distill it back down to really what the base principles are. Is it is always you against the boulder. It's just you against the boulder and a bunch of other people. As we see Dylan Safari getting to the finish and being a bit tentative, maybe just sort of feeling it out, and then lost his footing. So it's not over when you get to the top there.
Yeah, Seb Lazor was definitely very, very quick with his movements. You know, you can't spend too much time. Your rubber on your shoes are going to start heating up those little foot chips, making them feeling worse. Every time you adjust your feet, you're getting more rubber on those little foot chips. So you kind of want to be decisive and just confident. And I think that's why Seb had an advantage there with, I don't know how many years, 20 years probably?
20 years probably, yeah.
Of nationals experience that lets you do that.
Yeah, we had Morgan Schmitter there showing us the steepness of women's number 4.
And just falling for the finish hold there.
Yeah, and then Adriana and Antoine Caron fighting. I mean, you're going to see a lot of this. You're going to see a lot of people looking like they're moving really, really well. Seb Lazur getting into what we were unsure about again, and showing you that move is going to be quite difficult.
And Jacqueline Ho, you know, she's been on the podium at some Pan American Championship last year. So she is no stranger to competition, but she's also finding this first move very, very difficult. So that's just showing us the first look at, you know, the pros on our national team are now struggling with these moves.
Yeah.
So and she's getting close, but
yeah,
she's a very determined athlete.
Yeah, and I even think I saw some frustration from her. Like, wait a minute, what do I have to do this boulder?
Yeah, she's a bit more of an emotive athlete, I find. She definitely, she uses it to her advantage more often than not. You know, that little anger, that frustration with the move. I think she's probably on the most frustrating boulder, probably of the round.
Probably of the round.
Yeah. And she wants it so bad.
Yeah, Dylan Safari back up into the finish now. Oh, and that time, different position. And I think that foot, it's hard to see because of it's TV, so it's always hard to see, but the high foothold is on about a 45-degree angle. So if you are not careful with your direction, you're just going to slide right back down across it the way we saw Dylan unfortunately do. About a minute and a half left.
I think he also put his hand a little too low on this finish hold, so he'll probably adjust next attempt. But yeah, we've got a minute and a half left. I think that's enough time. If he's really got the start dialed, I think he could make an adjustment and get this boulder done.
Just the number of people, as you will see in the semifinal, people are going to miss more moves than they stick. So we're bouncing around. We're trying to catch as much of the action as possible. But there's a lot of people falling off boulders right now, as you would expect at the start of a semi. And we're just seeing where the tricky parts are. And yeah, Jacqueline Ho, I agree. I'm a little surprised. I would have thought maybe she would have, kind of reeled that one in pretty quickly. But she's trying to get a little composure. Seb Lazur teeing up this move.
Yeah, it's difficult at this point in the competition. You don't know what people are going to top because the round hasn't taken place yet. So, if you don't top something, you may think it's a huge problem, when in fact, we'll get to the end of the competition, we'll find that boulder only had one top. Oh, and Dylan Safari, one more attempt on that finish. Unsuccessful, but a valiant effort. I don't think we've seen anyone quite as close, other than, of course, our one top on that boulder so far.
It would be great. I love it. I mean, there's lots of things I love about climbing competition, like the way rounds play out, but I would love that top to stand alone for 15 climbers.
That's the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's also for Seb. I think he's probably feeling pretty good as he's, you can hear the audience. You know what's generally going around. You're not allowed to look at what's happening, but you're definitely aware, especially the people in ISO, hearing certain information. I think that people know there's not a lot of tops going around right now. So that can play as an advantage or a disadvantage. And right now we've got Sabrina Thairhead and Olivier Girard.
You went so strong, and then Girard Diedrichs.
Okay, yeah. No, I don't think I could pronounce. I'm sorry.
Yeah. That's one of those, you leapt before you looked, and I appreciate the strong effort that you took into that. You're like, well, I can handle an Olivier.
No, yeah, I didn't want to butcher it, but I thought, at least one of the two last names is good.
That's awesome. And I love that we got a couple of long hyphenations climbing beside each other for the next 40 minutes.
Yeah. Luckily, I know Sabrina a little bit better, so I
Yeah.
can say her name with a little more confidence.
Yeah. She's a climber, someone who's been training really hard to sort of get back into the competition scene. So she had maybe come out a little bit and then started training again.
No, she has an incredible work ethic. You know, she really wants this. She loves this sport a lot. She sacrificed a lot for this, especially to be here. She's repping Roseblock right now, and I'm sure the owner is cheering her on pretty loud. It's our first Roseblock athlete out. So, yeah, I'm sure she's really excited, especially training in Montreal right now. We've got a lot of this style going on. So a lot of our Quebec athletes, I think, are having a good time on some of these harder slabs. I think that's become a little bit of a trend on that side of the country.
Yeah, and it does... as you see, Elliot Robert here just trying to get some establishment on the pinches of boulder number 4. And a good split of boulders 2 and 3. Yeah, where you climb out of can have a pretty big effect on what your ability to transition to competition is. You do need route setters who understand the difficulty. I love these matching yellow boulders. Route setters still, I mean, they have an incredible job to do where it comes to separating the field, but they still have a bit of an artist eye. I mean, they're like, you know, what if these two boulders looked a bit like each other? Like we see the boulders number 4, very similar movement patterns, and then boulders number 3, different patterns, but, you know, the same hold colors. Just showing that they have a little bit of taste.
It's part of the appeal of the sport, I think. You know, when you're a spectator, just taking a look at what these athletes are climbing, you know, having something that looks very, you know, put together is kind of an interesting thing we have in our sport that's not really a thing in other sports.
Yeah.
You know, a pool is just a pool, a track is just a track. We've seen that a million times, but have you ever seen a big yellow circle on the wall and two of them in unison and it's all kind of, you know, looking really cool? I think that's something we definitely focus on a little bit.
Yeah, it's a hallmark. I say it all the time, and then someone corrected me weirdly in a comment, and I forget what sport they mentioned, but I said, you know, it's the only sport where we create the playing field every time, every round, and it's different every time. And then someone put in a comment that there was another sport. It might have been like skateboarding, but that's like you might build a course once, but everybody skates the same course through all around. So I stand by that climbing builds the playground, builds the competition structure every single time. It's unique and brand new.
Well, at least to this extent, absolutely. Yeah. Like, it's just from thin air, and these route setters are just so creative. They've got so much experience to be able to know that moves work for this field and their comp style. They're going to be kind of what we're going to see internationally. They're definitely the ones guiding this sport for the athletes. So it's very valuable when even some of the route setters that set these types of competitions are at your home gym, and they're able to see some of their ideas on the wall day to day in training.
Exactly.
Looks like we're seeing a lot of progress on this last men's boulder. It's hard to say how hard this is. It's very steep, but the men in our country are very, very strong. And this is just pure pinches. Like, if you can pinch and you've got the endurance to pinch over and over and over again, I think there's definitely a lot of footwork involved in this kind of steep power boulder. But it is yet to see a top, but it's had now a couple zones I've seen.
You see Grace Cam that having to work through the foot first opening into the transition, because you can't climb foot first through the whole boulder, so you have that spot in the middle where you've got to kind of turn yourself all the way around. And you were saying you thought that a few of the athletes would come at that from different perspectives and how they might choose to transition that out. So yeah, that's going to be a fun boulder to watch play out. And boulders 3 have also shown to be super difficult. The yellow boulders here for both genders are just so far not allowing a lot of progress to come through. About just coming to the end of the time now. So that's going to do it for Nate and Grace. We're going to keep moving through the field as we do. So we're about a third of, just coming up on, just past the first third. Ethan Villa, Sophia Bowles are going to come out on boulder 1. We're going to have Dylan, Antoine, and Seb Lazur will be on his last boulder. Jacqueline Hull, Riley Doherty, and Adriana Jokelson down on boulder number 4. We are still, if you just joined us, we are solving some technical difficulties, but Pete Woods, Madison Richardson here with you at the semi-final round of Canadian Nationals for bouldering. We're in Calgary at Boulder Climbing. And then on Sunday and Monday, we'll be doing the lead portion of our national competition. And if you're curious, you can follow along. We do have live results. So it is, you can find them from the CEC website, or you can go directly to cec.results.info, and you can get through to our, I mean, we say live, but it's generally a minute or so after the climbers come off each boulder. Their scores will be added. We do have what will sometimes happen, which is someone has bled on the boulder. We need to clean that, so there is going to be a technical, and what I imagine we'll do is we'll just hold Ethan for his full 5 minutes.
Well, this will work out nicely because we had an extra woman tie in our qualification round. So now it'll be evened out. So I don't think we're actually going to see too much disruption from this.
I love it.
Oh, and it looks like Jacqueline Ho is into the zone, and she is working her way to trying to finish boulder 2.
Is she going to get that heel hook or try the press? It looks like little sneaky knee bar. I did say, I wonder if there's a little sneaky knee bar in there.
Yeah,
I was not confident about this.
I was not confident with that either. I think, though, it's one of those boulders that you got to feel out. So there's probably 6, maybe 7 different ways to finish this boulder. Knee bar, I love that, though. She's very creative. Sometimes with her beta. Her and Evangeline, I think, are training partners. We'll see Evangeline in a few more climbers. But I would imagine we'll see something similar from Evangelina on that, if she gets to the top, of course.
Yeah. Swinging around Seb Lazur, getting through the pinches.
Yeah, this would be a big top for him if he were to get this one. I think that would do a lot for his scorecard with already 1 top under his belt.
It's going to be a bit of a fight. And I was reminded, so I've got a message here on Instagram from Melanie, and it was skiing. So they do set the gates are different for every course, slalom, giant slalom, downhill, they're all different. But not nearly to the extent that we do in climbing. And a lot of times, like a downhill held back at the same mountain will have generally the same gate position. So the turns are going to be a little bit like not quite perfect.
But we're also always skiing on snow. Whereas in climbing, sometimes we're touching dual techs, sometimes we're touching the wall, sometimes it's a volume you've never even touched before. So it's a lot more we're throwing at our athletes here. Sometimes you're just doing something you have never seen before, and you have to learn it. And because climbing is like a sort of a repetitive sport, you kind of learn movement patterns and then you kind of run with it. It's you know, these athletes are able to think on the fly, but sometimes it doesn't work out, and you definitely stump your athletes.
Yeah, on purpose.
Yes.
On purpose. We saw a pretty good effort from Adriana Jokelson there, trying to get through. She made the corner on boulder number 4.
And that's huge.
Here. Yeah. It would. Zones are going to matter. I'm going to get you to explain the point system. It's still basically zones and tops, but we've added points to make it easier to differentiate the results. Does it actually result or end up with less ties, or is it just a more obvious way to see the scoring?
I think it's probably a few more ties, to be honest, with this type. Yeah, whenever we fall going to a move, it's a negative 0.1 from your score. So if you fall going to zone and then you get your zone on the next try, it's going to be negative 0.1 because you fell once before that zone. But the issue right now is that it's the exact same deduction if you fall going for the top. So there's no differentiation between falling to zone and falling to top. So that does create a little bit of a different scoring system. We might see that change in the near future. It does seem to be a bit of a kink in the new system that we've adopted. But for the most part, we're still getting correct results, right? We're still seeing what we should be seeing.
Yeah. And Riley Doherty making some progress there. And then Seb Lazur, with about 5 seconds left, is just going to run out of gas and time.
Well, that was an excellent round from both of those athletes. And getting a zone on women's 4, I think that's going to be very, very valuable.
And I'm going to just sort of try and describe to you how interesting the technical problem that we're having is. So our monitor that we watch has quit. So it stepped away, and we, of course, want to only talk about but what you're seeing at home. But without that monitor, we're watching the YouTube stream, which is delayed. So if we talk about what's on the YouTube stream, we're already behind. So what we're trying to do is see what's in your view and then talk about it live to what we're seeing in the gym. So it's a tricky balance for us, so please bear with us. You're hopefully enjoying what you're seeing as we try and bring as much as we can to you.
So Sabrina is into her second boulder, and it looks like we've got Evan Lau on his first. We'll see how Evan does. He's been having also a very, very good season. And I also am noticing that Kira Stewart is also on the wall, and that is an excellent result for her to be in this semifinal today. She's been working really hard out of BC. I believe she's based out of Victoria, and I think she's really crushing it, and I think she's working really hard this season. So I'm sure she's very happy to be in this semifinal today, and I'm sure she's going to be gunning for that final position, that coveted position in Canada's largest competition of climbing.
Absolutely. We're Sophia working through and is not going to be able to piece it together. A lot of brushing, a lot of standing around. You do have to manage your time, right? It feels like a long time to stand in front of a boulder and rock climb it. But remember, when you go to the gym and climb, I would argue that most people spend maybe 10 or 15 or 20 minutes on a boulder, not 5 minutes on a boulder. So it does disappear very quickly. Some boulders, Madison, you only get maybe 2 tries, maybe 3 tries.
Yeah, I mean, if you're super conservative, for sure, you'll only put a couple attempts on those boulders later on in our competition. Boulders 3 and 4 for both genders are very, very physically difficult. So you're gonna want to be taking a few less attempts than you would on these first set of 2 boulders. Because they do drain you, and if you put too many attempts, you're definitely going to run out of energy for those later on attempts. So if you're serious about getting those zones and getting to the top, you're going to have to pace yourself.
As we saw Anne Roulette and Elliot Robert even I mean, everyone's trying very hard, but they're just getting shut down by other positions or commitment or movement patterns, and this is all going according to plan. This is what we expect to see in a semifinal round. The route setters are trying to separate the top half of the field. So they are setting boulders worthy of people who should be vying for spots on the national team. So everybody else that comes into a semifinal is trying to get some points on the board, as you were saying. You're trying to grab a zone here. You might get a sneaky top there, but you don't expect watching at home to see at this point in the round people topping boulders left and right. If that's happening, route setters are panicking because the top of the field is absolutely going to be flashing boulders, and that's what we don't want.
Yeah.
I'm never surprised to see a semifinal boulder get no tops. So also expect that one of these boulders on each side of the fence might be too difficult. But what they're doing is testing. The route setters all watch the semifinals, and then they make adjustments if they need to.
And Sabrina is doing a very shaky finish match, and she has secured it. You really want to hold that for a few extra seconds, especially when you're shaking like that. You want to make it very clear that you have control of that. And I'm sure she's very happy with that top. I think we've only seen 2 tops so far, so she's the 3rd. So that'll be very, very valuable. And I think she's relaxed now. I think, getting something like that, especially after Boulder 1, I don't believe we've seen a single zone on Boulder 1. So it's tough for athletes to understand what that means. Like, not getting a zone, is that bad? Is that good? I think my prediction is that not zoning Boulder 1 will not be a big deal. I think the other boulders are going to be more important for the scorecard. Of course, getting a zone will differentiate you for sure. It'll give you a big advantage, but I don't think we're going to see too much movement on that first boulder, at least so far.
Yeah, it might not be your difference maker. So we got a really good fight from Dylan, but not going to be enough.
Oh, and we're into the zone over there on men's 3. I don't think I've seen a zone on that either.
No, this is as good as, and then just rushing through it and not kind of getting the feet in. The clock was running out on him as well, but a good fight to get to a zone, so that's going to be some important points on the board.
And it looks like we've seen one zone on that so far, but zone in 7 by Nate Corsi. So that's definitely quite a few attempts to take to zone. So that's definitely a beatable score. Sometimes it's not just about getting the zone, but making sure you do it efficiently.
Yeah. So we're going to have Jack Vanderheed and Lana Slipovic who are going to come out for their first look at Nationals semifinals. And then Ethan Dillon and Antoine are on 2, 3, and 4. Sophia, Jacqueline Ho, and Riley Doherty also on their 2nd, 3rd, and 4th boulders. People miming out, people brushing, people looking, taking that first 20 or 30 seconds to read a boulder. Madison, what's your line of, oh my goodness, I can only figure out 30 or 40% of the boulder. When do you just start climbing it and hope that it comes to you in the moment? Or do you just stand on the mat until you have the whole thing solved?
No, yeah, you can't waste too much time sequencing your boulders. You're definitely going to have to give it a quick look, make sure you don't miss any foot chips, get the general sequence going, and then depending on the boulder, especially maybe like a more slabby boulder, it's a lot of feeling it out. I think, for example, women's 2, I look at that, I see what's going on, and then I know my body's going to know what to do when I get up there, so I'm not going to spend too much time trying to plan something out. Especially when you're in a position that's not too aggressive, you know, you kind of have a little bit of time to like breathe and look around while you're on the wall. You don't really need to do too much prep off the wall.
Yeah, that's a good perspective. I like that. And I like you said, make sure you don't miss any foot chips.
Happens a lot in competition.
Yeah, and route setters love a tone-on-tone foot chip, right? They love putting a green foot chip on a green volume. They absolutely love finding something that you might miss and be like, hey, good for you, but don't forget about this little spot over here or that little spot over there.
There's definitely a few of those in this competition. I know I saw on men's 3, or men's 2, sorry, there is a very, very small foot chip on, I believe, the start hold. You cannot see it on the camera. You can barely see it when you're walking up to the
You're
boulder.
standing right in front of it.
Yeah, so that, you know, some athletes may miss that foot. So if you see people following around the 2nd or 3rd move, it may be because they have not put their foot on that little chip that the setters have very, very secretly put.
Jack has the slip trying to get established in the toe hook that we think isn't going to be a good decision, but at least, you know, people like to try and find that comfort, and any slip is going to shake your confidence just a little bit because now you got to come back to that foothold that did you wrong and trust it again. And, you know, we all know it's hard to trust someone that's done you wrong.
It could also give him a second to adjust the hand, maybe adjust the foot. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt. You know, I'm not on the wall, we're not on the wall. Sometimes it feels different than it looks. I think, you know, from this bird's eye view, you're looking at it from afar. Sometimes it looks a little easier. It looks more obvious from the back. But when you get on, you realize it's not that obvious. You know, the things feel a lot worse. Sometimes you know you can't commit to certain movements, and you're going to have to adjust on the fly. And as an audience member, we're like, why are you doing that? But, you know, athletes know best on these boulders. These are some of the best climbers in Canada. So we have to trust that they know what they're doing, and they're trying to figure something out.
Yeah, and I love it. And I like to use the example where you see people a lot of times in the gym, people making progress on Boulder 4, but not getting as far as we would like for them, you know, as they would like. Like a boulder looks pretty doable from 10 feet away, but as soon as you stand under the wall, all the angles become very real. And now what you've measured out as a distance between handholds is actually further just because of the steepness change and where the foothold might have ended up. So and especially now on a two-dimensional object, so on a screen, it's very hard to understand the change in angles. As you were saying, this women's opening boulder, the foot stab, if they do the opening move, that volume, it's maybe a 10-degree change to the just smearing the wall itself. So it's not a salvation hold, but you're like, oh great, there's a volume there. Why aren't they just standing on it? That's the perspective that you gain from being in the room and then on the boulder, and then hopefully what we're able to do is take our experience and translate those 2 or 3 different perspectives into one.
I like this toe hook we're seeing on women's too. That seems to be a very much more static way to get into that second last hold there. And are we going to see another top? Oh.
A lot of fight.
Yeah, a fairly gentle boulder turns into a very aggressive boulder very quickly on that last move there.
Dylan Safari finding that position and then making the jump, but really just in desperation. 10 seconds on the clock. He's not going to have that in the bag. I don't think he got a zone through that attempt.
No, he would definitely need to have a little more stick on that and really control the swing in order to get that zone, unfortunately.
Yeah. So things are starting to get interesting. On now is Cedar Pigeon, who's been around the junior scene forever and is starting to get into the senior nationals program. Gilby Grant, Evan Lau, Oliver and Dylan down on 2, 3, and 4, and then Keir Stewart, Sabrina, and Sophia Bada down on the right-hand side of there.
Yeah, I think people see Cedar definitely as a lead climber, but, you know, as a lead climber, you do need to have a little bit of that pop. So I think for her, she definitely specializes, at least at the international level, in lead. But training and competing in bouldering is very valuable to all of the disciplines, I think, of climbing. So it's no surprise that she's here today and she's crushing it. She's coming out about halfway through the semifinal.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think she's very happy with this, even though she's not planning maybe to take it all the way to the World Cup scene.
Sabrina looking pretty strong at the start of this boulder, but not able to piece it together. Maybe a bit too dynamic.
Yeah, she's definitely a very powerful climber. So when she sees something, you know, a way to get through something, it's often like, let's just jump. Let's try to use my strengths to my advantage.
See Cedar kind of piecing. The first time she went very slowly, and then she went a little bit more aggressively. So just trying to find that balance between too much jump and not enough jump.
And that's such a hard thing about this sport. You know, sometimes you don't know exactly, like you've never approached these boulders before. You've never done this exact move. You don't know how much it needs to get through these moves.
Dylan working hard, but not getting too much progress on number 4. And then Cedar doing a lot of thinking over here. What is the right approach? It's a pretty good crowd in here for a work day. I think you'll hear some excitement when somebody unlocks the zone on women's 1. Right now, comps always have that. People will gravitate. They're like, yeah, Boulder 2 is pretty cool, then Boulder 3 is pretty cool, but Boulder 1 I want to see. Like, why is no one doing that?
Yeah, it's the
And
only
it draws
boulder.
attention. Yeah.
It's the only boulder that has not been zoned yet. So it's definitely, I'm going to be very excited when it happens. I want to see this go down.
That's the one we're sitting closest to. I think whether it's on screen or not, we're going to talk about boulder number 1 when it gets done. Kira Stewart just trying to find the magic in the middle there. Gilby Grant also.
Oh, very interesting. I did not see that whatsoever. This is the best part of climbing. You see stuff like this.
And he made it. I was just going to say that maybe
Please.
Gilby Grant.
Oh,
no, he rushed it.
no.
Rushed it. That was crazy.
I think he had to. Honestly, in that position, you got so much tension from that toe hook. You have to release it sort of aggressively. And it's a bad finish hold. If there was a little something on it, maybe a crimp, you could maybe hold that. Oh, that's, I'm sure he's proud of that, though.
Yeah, it might be hard to repeat.
Yes.
A minute and a half left. He's got time, of course, but we shall see. That is always the magic. Sometimes people pull tops out of like absolute disasters.
Well, in this sort of situation, you are going to be trying harder than you ever have in your life, probably. And you want this so badly. Most of the athletes we're seeing now have never been in a national final before for bouldering for us. So these athletes are looking to break out into their first final. We're, of course, taking 8 now, which is, I think, last season was the very first season. We did 8. So it's a little more realistic for more athletes now. But the field is just getting harder and harder every year. So you definitely have to pull out all the stops in this round.
Gilby, I don't know if this is going to come on screen or not, but Gilby has managed to extricate himself cleaner from the toe.
Oh, my goodness.
And just trying to be a bit aggressive, that crossover to the top.
I can't believe how many times he's climbed all the way up to that move. That's a lot of
There's
strength.
a lot of strength and effort.
It looks like Sabrina is working her way up to the finish on boulder number 3.
Yep, and making it work.
Oh, so yeah, maybe this does look quite a bit harder than it looks from the ground, and that's part of the difficulty when you're sequencing, for sure.
just like trying to find that purchase on the edge of that sloping dish. No
And
jibs
Gilby
inside of that one. Yeah.
Yes, yes. And Gilby is giving it one more
One
shot.
more
He's got
shot.
15 seconds on the clock. Oh, that's about as good of an attempt as you can get.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Yeah, and you talked about that maybe someone would try and go straight to the top if they thought it was good enough. You really don't, you can't see it. So some holds you predict, some holds you recognize, and then some holds you hope that I hope the top is as good as I think it is. I mean, I'm sure you must have at least one memorable World Cup experience where you went, why wasn't that hold better than it looked from the ground?
I've actually got the opposite experience. Yeah, Seoul a couple of years ago, I went for a finish hold thinking it was terrible, and it was actually really good. And I was expecting fully to fall, and then it just stuck. And it was actually one of the coolest experiences of my climbing career, because you just surprise yourself sometimes. I think Gilby, if he was a couple inches to the left, I think he would have surprised himself there.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's just so far to jump and use that kind of beta. So it's,
Absolutely.
I think he should still be very proud of that attempt. I think that was very impressive.
Very true, very true. And I love, that's such a good story. It's such a good story. Like, and I stuck it.
Yeah.
So you have like real shock. Like, and that's something you have to manage. So, you know, not to like overly drill down into that, but it's one thing to manage frustration, but it's another to manage, like, there's an adrenaline bump when you stick something you weren't expecting. And if it's not the finish hold, you got to, like, reel that back in and be like, okay, so I've still got some climbing to do.
That's true.
I didn't expect to be here. So that
Yeah.
you can, there's pitfalls literally everywhere in a bouldering round.
So we got TJ, who's up on this boulder?
This is a Luca Boivin. And Evangelina Briggs has come out.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So now we're starting to see Evangelina is our first, I think, repeat finalist that's coming into our round. She's actually won nationals before in 2021. She's the youngest Canadian to ever win Open Nationals. She was 15 at the time, and she's been a fixture in our finals rounds ever since. So I'm sure she's got some expectations going into this semifinal.
Yeah, she marks the middle of our fields.
Yeah.
On both sides.
Oh, and we have our first
zone.
And it's sort of anticlimactic
Yeah,
because
right?
you don't stick the zone when you stick the move. You stick just the hold before the zone.
Exactly.
So, and it also comes out of nowhere sometimes. But this shows her experience, absolutely. Only a couple attempts there.
I think we're over with Dylan Safri, who's not going to make the progress he's going to hope he made.
Oh, and we lose the top on women's too, but very close. I'm sure she's very confident she'll do that on the second try.
Evangelina now getting into this very delicate finish position, so hands free. There's a little bit of a little bit of hope on the side of that volume, but ooh, it's not a lot.
Fully dual text too. Yeah.
And
you can see the shine. Yeah.
Yeah, it's glinting, and you even the sort of the surprise in the hope to regrip that came out of that.
I think the setters probably were looking for athletes to not reach down and just try to balance it, which is a lot mentally more difficult to do. But I think she's the kind of climber that does like using her hands everywhere, right? Even if it's a slab, we're trying to find the littlest bit of something to grab onto. And unfortunately, she just misjudged how dual text was. Sometimes you can grab the dual text.
Sometimes you can. You're exactly
There's
right.
also screw holes to grab as well.
Yep.
There's always something.
And you never know, I mean, what you might surprise yourself with. Maybe you get the timing and the balance just right that it works for you.
Yeah, it's a tough one to repeat. When you have the confidence that you've done it before, sometimes it's overconfidence, or it's you're a little bit too relaxed going into the move because you feel like you've got this.
Yeah,
you
you're like, oh, I've done this.
Yeah, you don't need to pay as much attention.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it looks like we're into the top on women's 2 yet again. Evangelina's also getting into the zone one more time. So we'll see, once again, 2 women nearing the top of women's 1 and women's 2.
What's Lana able to do here? She's standing up taller rather than finding any of the sort of knee bar, heel hook situations. She's just trying to get length to hold tension. I don't mind it, but I don't love it.
Yes.
Good stuff. Good stuff. And Evangelina now this time not looking down at all.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it looks like she didn't extend her right leg fast enough. She's had a little too much bend as she went for the finish hold. But she's got a full minute left, and she's going straight into another attempt because you do need a little bit of time on this boulder. You can't be rushing slow slabs like this.
I I love how many contradictions it sounds like were in that sentence from you. You can't go rushing slow slabs.
I know, yeah.
Of course not. Of course you can't. But there are slow and fast slabs. And I am definitely interested to see our good close look. She's gotten close enough. She just needs to refine it a little bit here.
All right, this is definitely going to be your last shot. We've got about 15 seconds on the clock. Oh.
And I mean, that's like the reach because I'm there, but also I'm not sure I'm actually going to be able to stick that kind of feeling.
And route setters do need to be careful. There's a lot of short women. There's a lot of taller women. So eventually it's definitely in the middle. So, you know, it's a little bit maybe easier than someone like a Babette who's going to come out later. Very short. And the route setter just needs to be careful that all the women can reach it and the ones that are a bit taller aren't able to just static up to it. So it's a bit of a fine line.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, you're not jumping to that.
No, absolutely.
Your feet need to stay on.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to have Amaury Bourbonnais and Olivier Turgeon arriving on boulder number 1. Gilby Evan and Oliver Girard Diedrichs out on the end. And then Cedar Pigeon, Kira Stewart, and Sabrina Taylor Head.
And it looks like we've actually got a break on women's 1. Maybe we're trying to even out because we have the technical earlier on.
Interesting. So we do not have Amaury. And also somewhat interestingly, the gap on 2 doesn't seem to have affected our running order from the blood issue earlier on men's 1.
Yeah.
I was expecting there to be a spot in our schedule, but we didn't. It's lined back up again.
Yeah, sometimes we just need to trust that the head judge, the jury president of this comp just knows what they're doing. They're in charge. They got it handled. They know exactly who's supposed to be where. And the athletes kind of just have to adapt on the fly sometimes. You know, you'll be perfectly warmed up, and then jury president will say, okay, you gotta wait 10 minutes, and you'll get your turn afterwards. And you gotta be, everyone, you know, audience and athletes alike have to be ready to kind of be flexible in those moments. Kira Stewart is starting what is looking like one of the hardest women's boulders of the day. Cedar Pigeon moving all the way through women's 2. Sometimes we consider lead climbers to be a bit more static than the boulderers, but I think Cedar is definitely trying to change that. Again, showing up to Boulder Nationals, being a lead specialist, she's trying to. I think more and more we're seeing a lot of dynos and dynamic moves in lead routes. So it's good to have that skill, and we don't want to write her off when it comes to dynamic moves like this.
No, it's an interesting point because, I mean, traditionally, I think bouldering only started to come into play because people were using it to get into peak power and peak like crux. We're training for lead climbing through bouldering, and now competition, as you say, lead climbing has a lot of dynamic elements, and maybe some of the lead specialists are going back into bouldering just to keep those skills honed up.
For sure. But now that we've split the disciplines at the upcoming LA Olympics, we're going to see probably a little more of that specialization while competing in the other disciplines just to keep the other one fresh.
Yeah, pure disciplines, which is, you know, what we've always been angling for.
Cedar's finding no problem getting back into that boulder. Oh, and she's doing it the most dynamic way possible. I don't think any of the other boulder specialists have even done it that dynamically. But let's see if she can figure out the end of this boulder. And she's going with the knee bar. Oh, and it looks very, very casual. Yeah, definitely knee bar is definitely working. And it depends on how long your shin is too. You know, that's something that we struggle with in climbing. Some beta works for some people and not others. And it looks like she was the perfect height, perfect proportions to have a nice, comfortable knee bar in there.
So I was wrong. This is Luca Boivin on boulder number 1. So I'm going to fix that on my schedule.
So this event is taking place, of course, on a Friday. We're about noon at this point in Calgary today, and it's very interesting. We do both disciplines at the same time when we're doing our national championships, because a lot of our athletes do compete in both. And for them to only have to travel to one city to do both those events is the best way for us to manage some of our, our funding problems we have nationwide. So that helps our athletes quite a bit to have them both here in the same location.
Yeah, and a lot of athletes at the national level are still competing in both disciplines because there's still enough transfer between lead and bouldering. If you have the fitness, you can do both. And I think you don't need to be specializing just yet. I think World Cups we see a lot less. There's a few that do both. I mean, Jakob Schubert just did V17 after being almost exclusively like a lead climber on the World Cup. So the power is there. It's just the training is so different.
Absolutely.
And you would know that if you've got to try and divvy that up, you're just adding more days in the gym, more chance for injury, fatigue, all the things that come along with overtraining.
Well, more events to go to as well. You know, you're doubling your season when you do lead events, North American Cups, World Cups. There's quite a few events to go around.
Yeah, and you're not necessarily getting any of the breaks that you're hoping for either.
Yeah, the climbing season is very unique that it just keeps going. You know, we got nationals here in February. We got North American Cups coming up. World Cup season goes all the way down to October. So it's nonstop for our athletes.
And then a bunch of them climb rocks in the quote-unquote off-season. Olivier Turgeon and Evangelina Briggs. Evangelina's going to find that sneaky knee bar and going to make that top look pretty clean. So 1 for 2. She'll be happy with that, of course. Marie Bourbonnais. I mean, I hate to say it, but you can tell when people aren't committing. So some of the women have not looked like they believe they can do the opening move to this boulder, and they kind of take a bit of a swing, but they're not in a position, even if they were to touch the hold, to secure the move. So what has to change in that mindset when you pull on the start of the boulder where you're not just kind of like threatening the next hold?
Well, you know, I hate to say it too, but sometimes, even in competition, you do need to put out an attempt that is a feeling around attempt. We call it a recce burn in climbing, just to understand how far it is and kind of get the gauge. Sometimes you're not ready to fully go for a move you've never tried before on your first try. So you do kind of have to do that attempt that kind of lets you know, oh, the hold's a little bit better. You get your just hand on it just to feel it a little bit. And it's just enough to give yourself a little bit of extra confidence for your next attempt to potentially get it later on. You kind of have to sacrifice one attempt at the beginning.
That's great perspective, and it does help to explain why sometimes it just looks like people are, not trying. You know what I mean? They're trying but not trying. That's what it can look like when you're watching at home. It's like, well, why isn't that dude trying very hard?
Yeah.
It's like,
well, sometimes in training, I'll think I'm trying very hard. I look back at the video, I'm like, well, that looks terrible.
Yeah.
I don't understand. But yeah, you are trying hard still.
What am I doing out here? Olivier getting back up into the start position and moving across. Is he going to go the drop down method that we saw from Seb?
Wow. Oh, he needs this.
Yep. Look. I was just going to say something about looking strong in a position.
Yeah, that's what happens when you fully trust the feet. Sometimes they can just butt out for no reason.
About a minute and a half left, so there will be a couple of more tries. Just got a drive-by wave from Simon Villeneuve. A fixture in Canadian climbing.
Absolutely.
Since 1990 something. I won't give away how old him and I are, and I'm older than him. So let's just move on. So really not a lot of progress has been made through boulders 3 for the women, and 2 and 3 for the men. So we've seen maybe one zone on the women's side and maybe one zone on the men's side. So things are quite stout over in the yellow corner. And we've seen a couple of zones on 4, but really, again, not a lot of progress. I think as we see maybe Evangelina, and I see a couple of names coming up in the list, we should start to see some changes. But for now, a lot of really, really stout climbing on the right-hand side of the wall.
Oh, and is he going to do it this time? What is he adjusting?
Olivier.
Oh.
Just a little bit of a shift, but you saw that left foot give out, and that's going to be the difference maker. So out next, we're going to have Leo Santoprete and Elise Villeneuve. Leo's super fun to watch climbing. Luca Boivin on 2, nobody on 2 for the women. And then Cedar and Gilby down on the end, and Kira and Evan Lau on boulders number 4.
So Leo qualified in 11th place in the qualifiers. So we're now just over halfway through our field. So all of these athletes from here on out are absolutely people we can see in the final. Leo was in our final last year.
This is when it starts to get fun for us. Boulders start getting topped. All right. A little bit of brushing time. Leo, I mean, getting into this move pretty quickly, finding this drop down sequence. So that's so far has been the most successful in control method. And Leo early to the finish hold. I love that.
I like how he's bumping his hand up. Oh.
Was that your fault or my fault? We both said positive things about that. We'll share the blame for Leo, but it was the foot. He looked pretty confident. That hand was scooching over.
I think it was, it was too comfortable. I think when we watched Seb do it, he never looked comfortable, for sure. He was he was a bit stiff on the wall, but I think he knew how bad those feet were, and he was maybe he was diverting some of that brain power to like focusing on how much pressure he's putting on those feet. Sometimes, first attempt out, you're getting all the way up, you're about to flash the first boulder of the round, you think, oh, this is gonna be no problem. And then it just gives out.
Yeah, that's something really interesting thing to look for, and from your insider's perspective, is sometimes somebody fighting really hard is not because they're about to fall off, it's just that level of focus. They're like, every single piece of every single hold matters.
Yeah, and sometimes, especially with a finish hold so large, your attention is on where I'm going to put my hand for that finish hold and not what's my foot standing on. Oh, and looks like we're about to get another zone on men's 2.
Yeah.
And of course, it's not the first crimp, it's the second crimp, so you still have to keep
do
going.
some work here.
Oh, yes.
And that is going to be that zone.
And you can see they've blocked the next hold that he's toe hooking now.
That's a really good fight from Luca Boivin. Love that.
Leo up on the finish hold again. He's putting more attention on his feet. He's ditching it all together.
Ditched it completely.
And the judge, I don't think the judge can really
see.
Yeah. Yeah, but she had to walk around to see where his hand was.
He stayed up there for a while. You're like, did you? I'm holding. You can't. I'm touching it. I promise.
Yeah. Well, the fact that he just stopped moving altogether. And I do think I see some blood potentially on that second last black hold there. They may need to technical that again.
Maybe. A lot of fighting. I was just going to say a little bit of progress from Gilby Grant down on boulder number 3, but back to brushing. So at the moment, a lot of brushing, and Kira Stewart.
Yeah, struggling with those toe hooks a little bit. Yeah, I think the hands are pretty bad. The cross you need to do is a lot of pressure to put on the hand, and you're not in a very good position. You're kind of coming into a pinch from the complete opposite side. So it's a weird position to put your wrist in. It sometimes isn't very good until you get all the way over underneath it.
Luca Boivin has jumped back on.
Oh, and he goes to the zone first this time.
Yep.
I like that.
Interesting.
Gets his hands a little bit closer.
Yeah,
I
just
think,
changing position.
he changed his beta completely as well. And it looks men's 4. Are we going to see another zone here?
Evan Lau going right hand to the zone.
Very interesting.
Can he extricate? No. The match is very difficult.
But of course, I'm sure he's okay with just getting a zone so far. And we do have just around 30 seconds left. At this point, for the athletes on Boulder 4, they don't have any more boulders to go. So sometimes, even though it's a huge, pumpy boulder, putting another attempt on with 20 seconds left isn't the worst decision. You know, you may not be competing in the final. It might be your last taste of competition this weekend.
Pigeon getting into the last couple of moves.
We got 6 seconds on the clock. Is she able?
3.
She's got to go.
It's not enough. And I don't know if she would have had enough time to match a finish anyway. She's got through the zone, so one of the few zones, rare zones we've seen on women's boulder number 3 as time runs out on everyone. Okay, good stuff. Alexa Vanier and Ian Tan are going to be coming out. And then we see Olivier, no one on 3, and Jack Vanderheed all the way down on the end. And then Amari on 2, Evangelina Briggs back out on 3. I don't make a lot of predictions, but I like to make a few every now and then. Evangelina Briggs, I think boulder number 3 is in her power wheelhouse. I think she might flash that thing, but I just see her not letting go of any of those pinches.
Yeah, I think you know, she's the kind of person that doesn't let go of things. You know, she was cheated out of her first top. So I'm sure she's looking to get revenge on that and even out her scorecard a little bit in this semifinal.
Yep.
Looks like we see some progress on women's 4. Yeah, and those toe hooks, you got to walk those out a little bit. When they're too close, you lose tension. And I think that's what a lot of women are facing right now. Ian Tans looking good into the zone.
As I would expect.
Oh yeah, as soon as we see the foot drop down, we're like, okay, this is about to be something good.
This is going to be the right way to approach this boulder.
Yeah. Okay, is he gonna focus on those feet?
Just I was going to say the setup there is so.
Yeah.
Do I go? Do I not go?
Yeah, and you can't go like 85%. You can't go 95%. You got to go, if you're going to go for the top, you got to go for the top. Because it's hard to hold. The lower down you go, you can't really hold circles too far down. It's got to be straight down, right on top of that.
Yeah, even a half a hand to the left or right, you're now slowly dragging your way around the corner.
And you can see the circle also isn't, like there's nothing to hold on the left side, so you can't even compress it. It needs just to be pulled down straight on top.
Yeah, it's a clever hold design, which obviously a huge piece of the puzzle in modern root setting is the holds that they get to shape their roots with. And so modern hold design lets root setters get more and more clever. So I was wrong about Evangelina flashing the block, but I still have a lot of belief in Evangelina doing the block.
Absolutely.
Alexa having a bit of a fight on the start move, and Ian gets right back up into the start immediately. Drops down again. And now, is he gonna change his approach, or he's just gonna be slightly more careful?
I like that he has his foot already on the zone. I think that's a really good foot.
There we go. Yeah.
I like the way he finished that.
I really do.
That was very creative. I think, once you have one foot that's sure, you can be a lot more confident to press on it. When you've got these 2 terrible feet, it's really hard to get into that position.
And I kind of like the hug. I like the way that boulder finished, the way he grabbed the bottom. I was like, oh.
A very stark contrast to Leo, where you couldn't even see his hands. Now both hands are very clear.
All right, Amari moving into the zone transition. The flip decision.
Oh, yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah, there's definitely a couple ways we've seen women do this one. But that seems to be the powerful one, and I think probably the intended there.
Yeah. And I love just that the little extra squeeze required to hold that flag out and back in again, and then the composure to finish the boulder. That's excellent stuff from Amara. She'll be happy to put that on the scorecard.
Yeah, I think that's one of the boulders you're gonna need, I think, to make today's final. We'll see how the scores end up shaking out, but some of these boulders that we're seeing a lot of tops on are becoming those necessary tops, you know, to keep up with the rest of the athletes.
Yeah, and Evangelina now moving through the beginning, just a little bit more careful and getting into the zone positions here. This is, I know. Yeah, that's good into that pinch.
Yeah, a zone is a huge deal for her at this point in the competition.
And I actually looked like she ran out of gas a bit in the next move, the pinch to the pull down straight, which I would say I'm a little bit surprised by. Usually she's the kind of climber that has a little bit of power in reserve, but also maybe that's telling about how much more difficult that boulder is than it reads from the ground.
Absolutely, but regardless, that zone did put her into first place, tentatively. So that's never a bad place to be. Even at this point in the competition, we still got about maybe 10 climbers, a little less than that to go.
Yeah, that's about 15 seconds now. Alexa Vanier is going to be frustrated, but in good company with not getting the zone on boulder number 1. And this is one of those where you walk off the boulder and you're like, what on earth? And then when your round is over and you go back and look at the scores and you see a bunch of blanks on boulder 1, you're like, oh shit, okay. Oh, it's been a long time since I accidentally swore on a broadcast. You think to yourself, oh my goodness, no one did boulder number 1. I don't feel quite so bad about my performance on it, but in the moment it still hurts when you think I should be doing this block.
Yeah.
All right. Jacob Elliott and Avery McDonald. Leo, Luca, and Gilby are back. Elise Villeneuve and Cedar Pigeon down on the right-hand side of things. Everybody brushing before they start.
Yeah, I feel like we're seeing a lot more brushing now that we're quite a while into the competition now. Everyone just picks up a brush instinctively.
Yeah. And sometimes it forces you to take a second to maybe look at the boulder, and give a bit of a brush to see what's going on.
Sometimes you can also feel the holds a little bit with the brush. You can kind of get, you know, are there divots in this hold? How deep is it? You can kind of get a little bit of information from that brush.
Jacob Elliott moving well right away. Kind of wasted no time to get up in the start of this, but is also, looks like he's hunting the toe hook.
Yeah. But he's also a root setter, so, you know, he's got a little more of that insight into what intended beta could be.
And Leo Santoprete getting back out of the start of boulder number 2, which has been a challenge to this point.
And
into the zone.
First, yeah. I think it's definitely tactful to like try to secure that zone first and not risk it by grabbing the lower crimp first.
I do, and I think I like this position as well to leave because of the angle that you get to pull down on rather than that slight Gaston feeling.
Yeah.
So good climbing from Leo, but let down a little bit trying to make the transition move. Elise Villeneuve. All right, Avery sliding on the opening moves, as we have seen many times.
I'm liking the amount of resting I'm seeing from athletes now at this late stage. We're seeing a little bit more experience and a little bit more restraint, I'd say.
Yeah. I think down on the end, I see Cedar Pigeon making good progress on boulder number 4.
Yeah, and this is where we can say, you know, these lead athletes do have a bit of that endurance advantage, so we can play to some of those stereotypes.
Yeah, she's going to, you know, turn it into a rock climb.
All right, we're into the finish of women's 2 yet again. Elise.
She's going to go for the stand-up method.
Yeah.
Oof.
Oh.
It does look a little bit insecure. Jacob has the toe hook. I'm not sure if we're going to get that split.
Oh, and he makes it work.
Jacob Elliott releasing the toe is insane.
He's looking a little shaky, but that sometimes is just how people look on slab.
Yep.
Is he going for the top?
It looks like it.
Oh, and he was trying hard. He put a lot of force into that.
You see the lean out and look up and like, oh, am I?
It's good to take that extra look and not just kind of go blindly. Obviously, he's got a much better perspective of what it looks like from up there. Yeah, with such powerful attempts we just saw, of course, we're going to have to take a break.
We looked down the wall and everybody is breathing or brushing.
Yeah, it looks like men's 3 has given people some trouble now as well. I'm not seeing I haven't seen anyone really get past the zone and going for the finish hold. So it'll be interesting to see if this maybe even gets a top in today's competition. I think we've seen, definitely it's possible on almost all of them. We've seen people touch the finish holds at the very least. Maybe men's 4, women's 4 are a little more difficult, but yeah, men's 3 remains a little bit more difficult to our athletes today.
Yeah, and I love the way it looks like it should climb. So it is one that I'm very much looking forward to.
I'll say too, it's one of the ones that you could lose quite a bit of skin on, especially if you're trying really, really hard and you're actually sticking these things.
Yep. Jacob Elliott back up into the finish position on boulder number 1. I've got to get rid of that shake in the foot.
Oh.
Does get that Gaston position. Can he get the right foot up? Yes, he can.
Yes.
Drops the left.
There we go. He's excited about that.
Yeah. So that's almost step for step Leo's beta. Get the right foot up, drop the left foot, change that hip position, and immediately comfort.
Yeah.
Oh, comfort, obviously in quotes.
Yes, I think those little crimps are dual techs, of course, on the opposite side. So when they do step, it is like a good surface, but it is still, you got to be careful. It's a little bit of a shine on the top of that.
Yes. Oh my goodness, I'm just looking down the wall and seeing, every time I look, I see someone come spinning off.
Yeah, men's 4 definitely remains an extremely hard boulder, and I think it's made more difficult because it's the last boulder, and especially after something like men's 3, men's 2, even men's 1.
Yeah,
all these boulders are wearing you down.
It almost feels like the setters decided on the men's side to be like, all right, well, who has the physical chops? You know, the boulders are, 1 is a bit tricky. Maybe 3 is a bit tricky in terms of sequencing, like getting kind of the timing and everything right. But it's also, hey, these are all physically very difficult.
Yeah. And on boulders this difficult, you can't mess around with the beta. If you have the wrong beta, you may be wasting energy, valuable energy.
Yeah, tons of it.
So you got to be sure with your sequence for sure.
Kaya Taylor Ainsley is our next 3 named climber. There's a lot in this round. And TJ Foley, who I know is a favorite around these parts, has been climbing out west and in Calgary for years. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, he's rocking a mustache that might need further commentary. Ian Tan, Alexa Vanier, Olivier and Amari, no one on men's 4, and Evangelina Briggs standing underneath women's boulder 4.
All right, TJ is up into the beginning of men's 1. Let's see what he can do. I think a flash on this would really set the standard. I think we've only seen Seb flash it. So I think attempts are going to start to matter a little bit in these higher ranks to make the final.
Especially on a bunch of boulders where there might just be zones. TJ Foley looking at the top.
Oh. All right, so everyone that's tried that has been unsuccessful, but it looks so close. I'm surprised someone hasn't been able to make that one work.
Yeah, you're right. They look like, oh, I'll just grab the top of this real quick and carry on with my day, and that's not at all how it plays out.
Yeah. But with so much time left, he's got 3.5 minutes. It's definitely, you know, feeling very confident. You've done almost every single move in the boulder.
Yeah, and you think, okay. And maybe you force yourself to take that extra 30 seconds rest so you can get back to the spot where you were before. Just looking down the wall, I see Ian Tan looking good on boulder number 2 right now. Can he make this transition out? The whole he's matching is really not very good, Madison. Like it's a fight to leave. And he went.
Okay, there we go. And these are block crimps too, so they're not definitely not a sure thing.
No, they're not just grab and go. TJ back up into the business, and Alexa Vanier making the swap. I'm not sure which split screen you're going to have there, but Alexa did that the hard way.
Yeah, and it looked so casual, I have to say. It looked like definitely less powerful, but a little bit more difficult potentially.
Yeah, and then a little no hands knee bar, just showing you how good that position is for her. A little bit of showmanship. I'm here for it. The no hands, unnecessary, but necessary, why not? If you're there, you can do it. That was That's what Alex Honnold said about the no hands knee bar climbing Taipei 101. It was like, why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
It's there. It's secure. Why not?
Yeah, I think there's probably a famous photo of Sean doing that at one of our nationals a few years ago. It's definitely very showy, and you know, the audience are here to also enjoy this competition.
Exactly.
So when the athletes can give back a little bit, other than keeping it so serious, of course they need to qualify first. But you know, if they have a chance to show them how much they're enjoying it, they definitely should.
TJ
only
went for the same thing. 1.5 minutes. He is definitely going to get one more try.
So for the athletes that are thinking a little further reaching into the podium potentially, because I believe he was on the podium last year, you know, you're starting to think even in this semi-round about trying to conserve some skin. So he's definitely using it up here on this finish match, and he's also not changing his beta over the course. I think it's been 3 attempts on this finish. So you know he's definitely got that in the back of his mind. But the question is he just like, he just needs to get done. Like he just feels like this is something that needs to be topped or I'm not even going to make it. And, you know, you can forget about the podium at that point.
Yeah, that's true. There's just an inkling of desperation that kicks in and can kick in really early. It's boulder number 1. Yeah. But you definitely have that feeling of, wait a minute, like, you know, what can I do here or not do here? Ian Tan back into the business of boulder number 2.
So we've got about 23 seconds on the clock. A good enough time to take your time doing this finish. Oh, man.
Oh, my goodness. So he stuck with it. He stuck with it, and it worked, and it was pretty sweet.
That's the coolest way I've seen that get topped, I have to say.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be Leo's, like, I promise you I'm touching this hold.
Yeah.
The judge has to come around and look, but right now I agree, TJ with the little hop.
Yeah, he just definitely adjusted, like, how much he pulled for that thing, because he knew, okay, my hand was just a couple centimeters, and that's what it is in this sport all the time, you know? 1 centimeter to the left, to the right, and all of a sudden you're topping a boulder.
All right, we are now into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, top 7. So this is getting down to the last third. Ugo Darval is on boulder 1, and Yingtong Shi is on boulder number 1 for the ladies.
And Yingtong, I don't believe I have seen her. She's definitely a youth athlete that's kind of breaking out, but to qualify this high at senior nationals is a very, very big deal. I think she's definitely going to be one to watch for the next, well, in this competition, of course, in this semifinal, but going forward, I think she's definitely made a mark in that qualifier round.
And what's the youngest you can compete on the open circuit is 16 or 17?
I believe they're changing it to 17.
Right.
Potentially that hasn't gone into play yet. But yeah, it's about what year you're born right now. So for example, Evangelina, when she won nationals, she was 15, but she was turning 16. So.
Elise Villeneuve.
Yeah, making
really good progress on boulder 3.
Oh yeah, we're starting to see the tops coming in, definitely. Oh, it's just so pumpy when you get that high.
Yeah.
Oh, and a very crazy looking drop knee bar.
From Avery McDonald.
Whatever works, yeah.
Whatever works. So I am curious about Luca down on 4, but right now, Ugo Darval, who is always in and around finals and podiums, wow.
So I think this is starting to be a bit of almost a disadvantage that some of the more experienced internationally competitors have, is we tend to overcomplicate it a little bit. And he's looking for a crazy flip move to an undercling crimp, and it's just a bit more simple than that. And sometimes we tend to overcomplicate it because that's what we're used to internationally, and that is the beta. And we're trying to like think very, very creatively. But in Canadian nationals, I mean, we see it a lot. You know, we have very creative moves. This time, I think he might have to adjust.
Okay, that is such an interesting perspective that you bring, is that you can be looking for something that's trying to trick you more than it is. And, you know, sort of the old joke of when in doubt, face out. And people are like, well, you don't want to be the only person that didn't try to start a boulder facing the wrong way. So you're like, well, I don't want to be the only one who didn't try the dynamic hand swap.
Yeah.
That
But
would
I
be
think,
silly.
yeah, well, what's going to have to set him apart is he going to change his beta? You know, is he going to be tactful? And it looks like he is. He's starting to play around with his feet.
But really bunchy and high still.
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
That's looking much better into the approved position.
Perfect. Yeah.
And now I saw a little exhale.
Oh,
Yep. So the right idea now, but a little left foot slip.
as it happens on this boulder, for sure.
In very good company with a left foot slip. And I'm looking down the wall, and I'm still not seeing a lot of progress down on the right side after Elise's breakout through the zone on boulder number 3. I do see Jacob Elliott thinking about a minute and a half left. Right now, like most of the exciting action is on men's 1.
Yes, yeah.
Women's 2 is getting done. But quite a lot more flashes now coming through this quarter of the field. I'm curious to see if Elise is going to give this one more try. With a minute to go, Jacob Elliott is going to pull on boulder 2. See if he can put a few crimps together.
Yeah, he's going to need that zone for sure. I think I heard a power scream out there.
I definitely heard a power scream.
Yeah, he's been quite loud today. I think he was really psyched about his first top.
Oh my goodness.
Leo into the zone. There we go.
This is as good as we've seen that heel hook. I like this. From Leo. There is a tiny foot chip down there.
Okay, can we see a top?
Big open pinch. The last hold is terrible, Madison. It's so bad. But can he go in control?
Oh, is he going slow?
He is.
Oh my goodness.
Leo Santoprete is going to be our first top on number 3 and done in style.
That's incredible.
Wow. And he's going to run straight off the mat.
He's done.
That's a boss move right there. Leo. Wow.
And you know, in isolation, when athletes are sitting, waiting to go, they're seeing Leo coming in a little earlier than everyone else. They just heard the crowd go crazy.
Yep.
I think the person about to do that boulder knows exactly what just happened.
Yep.
And the pressure is either on or they're more confident that it goes.
Yeah, there's that in between, right? It goes, boys, it goes. And there's, oh, wait a minute.
I have to do,
I have to do this
I have
boulder.
to do it now, yeah. But again, we're lucky to be safe in a semifinal round where you can get away with just one top if you just get it in the right spot, and a couple zones potentially can be enough. So you don't have to top everything that everyone else tops. I'm seeing Maxime Therrien starting his round, another young athlete that is performing very well on the senior circuit. He's made the transition very effectively.
And I don't want to give too much away, but on deck is the name that we have not seen at a Canadian Nationals in years and years and years, simply due to his status on the World Cup circuit. But Sean McCall will be coming out right after Maxime.
Yeah, Sophie King's having some trouble with these feet. I'm surprised. I mean, Evangeline is very good at slab, but I'm surprised we have not seen any other zones yet, because everyone is so close.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I thought it would kind of give some people some fits early, and then we'd pretty much have a lot of confident movement through there.
Crowd favorite TJ is making his way up to the zone.
Looking good on
He is
boulder
looking
2.
very fresh. This is his first attempt, I believe.
And maybe in the split, you're going to see Kaya getting into the finished position, going into the press. But TJ...
Oh, and a foot slip. Oh, no.
And I would say, I mean, only 2 people have been there before him, but he didn't look stressed. He didn't have elbows up. He wasn't skating his feet around.
Yep.
He looked like he was truly setting up to hit that dead point. So I suspect he will get there again.
And he's also got a top under his belt, which always helps with the nerves. Like, let's not forget, all these athletes are so nervous right now, especially on the first boulder. And that can really affect performance.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all fun and good to talk about experience, but that doesn't equate to no nerves. That's just not a thing.
Like, I would suspect that Sean is nervous back there. Like, you know, you've been climbing for 20 years, but still, like, this is a home crowd. This is Canadian Nationals. If anything, it's a little more nerve-wracking to be in front of every single person in this room knows your name.
Yep. And they're expecting things of you.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he has, I think probably everybody watching this knows that Sean has had a few injuries that have just sort of hung around that have resulted in, him not having full seasons and not having the results that you would have expected just before he had that shoulder surgery. But the buzz around here yesterday, I was talking to a few people this morning, is that the young guns were thinking, oh my goodness, Sean is back up to a level we haven't seen in a while.
Yeah, I am. I'm not surprised because he's such an experienced athlete, but I am surprised he qualified quite high. Quite high. He's in 5th, so we're around the 6th place athletes right now. So these are all like in finals position. So these could all be athletes you see in tonight's final.
Okay, TJ Foley now getting
wow.
Rejected.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of dry firing off of that crimp. I don't think it's, there's not a lot of friction on the crimp actually. It's a little bit of a slick crimp. So if you don't fully have some good contact with it, it's very easy to slip off of that thing.
Down on the end, I'm just saying, we're peeking around, we're looking for action because we're flying a bit blind. We're playing the very dangerous game where the Beta Breakers camera master and trying to get everything lined up, Basim, is listening to us and then trying to follow our commentary around the gym rather than vice versa. So Alexa Vanier getting into the business but not getting out of it.
Maxime Terrien seems to be figuring out men's 1.
Yeah.
Into the finish position. He looks very stable. And again, just not quite high enough. And if you're going to go dynamic, you got to go all in. If you're going to go just to the side, you got to be slow.
Yeah.
So you can't do a mix.
Yeah, you can't cross those over in the left foot. Just let them down. And it doesn't take a lot. It doesn't have to be a full foot dry fire. It just has to be not the explosivity you were expecting, and then you short the move to the top.
Absolutely.
And he is going to come right back up in it with 25 seconds to go. Everybody's on the wall.
Yes, TJ is going for the most pumpy boulder, I think, of the day. Like, everyone seems to be really struggling at the top. He's going slow. He needs this. He wants it.
He does. TJ Foley back up into a position to do this last move. One hand on the finish hold.
And we just saw another zone on Women's 1 as well in the last seconds there. We'll make sure that she did, in fact, receive that. She matched it, and she looked back at the judge to make sure it was confirmed. So let's take a look.
Yeah, you're going to pull up CEC results and see where we're at. And we are going to get ready for Sean McCall to pop his way back out onto the mat.
So Sophie King did, in fact, get the zone on that in 11 attempts. It doesn't matter how many. You just need it because that's way more points than 0.
Infinitely more points than 0. Infinitely more points than 0.
So she's going to get an 8.9, I believe, on that.
Nice.
Or a 9.0. All
right.
So I don't think I've ever commentated Sean before.
It's fun. Because he moves quickly, he moves explosively, he almost always moves with, like, his first attempt looks like he's tried the boulder 5 times.
Yeah.
And that's what I kind of expect to see from him here, is that he moves between holds with like, I'm going to grab that.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to grab that one. So it's not, can I stick that hold? It's, let me just go get that.
But in this sport, experience isn't everything, because, like, the holds he was climbing, 10 years ago,
That's
it's a full new set at this point.
Yeah, it's a new game. Right away, took a really long run-up, which I kind of love.
He is a little shorter than most of our other athletes. He's actually the exact same height as me. And I remember we once spanned our apes, and we have the exact same arm length as well. So he's definitely a little on the shorter side.
Yeah. So he's staring down his options here. And I've seen him look at the toe, and I've seen him look at the cordo.
And I like that he's not committing to something immediately.
Yep.
Oh, and I haven't seen anyone slip down there, actually, before.
Just sort of getting that a little bit in between. A little bit unsure. And then, as you were saying, but that's now a fact-finding mission. So he's going to learn something.
And I think I see Jacob Elliott on the zone out on Boulder 3.
Yep. Jacob Elliott staring down the finish for only the second person we've seen anywhere near the top of this boulder. Heel hook popped.
That's tragic.
Yeah, Leo, who's right beside him, might even be breathing a sigh of relief.
Yeah.
Wow, that was good.
So Amelia Callanan has just come back from an injury, actually, at our North American Cup in Roseblock last year, last May, I believe. So yeah, she had a pretty bad injury, but she has bounced back. She's had about 4 months of training, fully injury-free, so she's good to go. But, you know, it remains to be seen. She qualified quite high, but she's very just naturally skilled.
Right.
She was second at Nationals a couple years ago, so she definitely has what it takes. But the question is, what's her head game going to be like post-injury? You know, how is she going to be competing now? Is she a different athlete than before with so much time off mentally and physically?
Yeah, good points on all accounts. Ugo Daval stepping into boulder number 2.
Yeah, it gets very tiring to do that big shoulder move over and over again. He's about halfway through, and to be kind of getting fatigued mid-boulder, I think that's a sign to take a little bit of a break, and we'll see if he does that.
And Sean is taking, a minute and a half. So this is sort of that, I think I can do this boulder next try now that I've figured out what not to do.
Yeah.
He's back up into the business.
I love that big run up. That's
yeah, it's amazing. It's sort of unnecessary, but also why not?
But he's also a bit shorter, so it is actually like, he's probably used to doing things like that.
And he's going to come into, okay, as you mentioned, that was maybe a little bit of that, I have to go into this as a little 1-2 punch.
Overcomplicating it, yeah. I know Alana did that actually at our last Boulder Nationals in Boulder in 2019. She almost didn't top the first boulder because she was overcomplicating it, and it was very, very obvious. So I think Sean is just doing a repeat of what Elena did all those years ago, and we may see a top in the last couple seconds on this. And Hugo's into the zone, and Hugo, again, is definitely a contender for the podium at this competition. He was just on the podium at the Pan American Cup not too long ago, along with Matt Rodriguez. So definitely a few heavy hitters coming out here. And he's into the zone again.
Just fighting for the crimps here.
Yeah. And I think, okay.
He manages to make it stick this time. This is the most progress we've seen from him on this boulder.
He's pumped, but okay, yeah.
The releasing the toe was everything he had left in the tank. And with him 30 seconds left, this is going to be Sean's last try on this boulder. What is he going to do different? He definitely, I mean, it's not about hand strength at this point. It's about getting the sequence right.
There we go.
And there it is.
So he spent some time just looking at it and figuring it out. Okay, but we've got 20 seconds. That's enough time.
Yeah, that's more than enough time. And just that ease of that hand match.
Yeah, and then what is he? Oh, he's getting the foot up first. I like that. That is feeling...
He's looking like...
Oh, my goodness. He didn't even hit it right on top.
No,
he had
didn't.
To... That was a bit of a struggle,
yeah, he missed and made it work.
See, yeah, like that's exactly what Lana did in 2019, you know, 10 seconds left, and she does the first boulder, and it saves the whole comfort, although that was in finals. But still, like, semis is more stressful, I think, than a final.
Yeah. And you can see, I mean, they walk right by us, and that was, he's fully zoned in. Sean is not here to be like, I just need to come out and make my way into finals.
Yeah.
He's laser focused. That was he was looking down as he walked by us like he meant serious business.
So we've got Rina Gao and Oscar Baudron. At this point, I don't need to look down at the start list anymore. These are regular athletes that we see.
Yeah, these are the people that we know. They've been around the scene for a very long time.
So, yeah, Oscar Baudron, I think, you know, we haven't seen him in every national. You know, he's definitely skipped quite a few. I think the last time I saw him was 2021 or 2022.
Okay.
But he's definitely been around. He's been going to North American Cups. He's been in the scene. He lives now in Montreal. And he's making easy work of this slab.
Yeah, he's absolutely, I mean, yeah, I mean, that's the problem of not knowing how good the top of that hold is, but he did what is essentially the difficult part of the boulder, no problem, and now just a touch of refinement is going to make that difference.
And I think, if anything, slab is definitely a strong suit of his. He's advanced to the semifinals in Salt Lake City last season and the season before. And Salt Lake is a little bit of a slabbier competition. It's one of the few World Cup walls that has 2 slabs on it. It does look like we're about to see a top on men's 4.
Ian Tan is looking really good. Oh my goodness. Just as we looked over, he had moved cleanly through the bottom. And then, wow, that's just powerful stuff at the top there. And TJ Foley.
Yeah, it looks like we're seeing quite a few tops, or quite a few zones on that 4th boulder, but the top is a real differentiator.
Yeah, it's just those last couple of required pulls. The last pinch gets worse than every pinch before it. And just out of the corner of my eye, I just see Rena not doing the opening move.
Yeah, Rena definitely is a very, very strong boulderer. So I would see probably boulder 3 being a cakewalk for her, although, you know, cakewalk is maybe a strong word to use.
Relatively speaking.
But yeah, the coordination is maybe a little bit weaker than her strengths.
Now Oscar this time.
Yeah, very clean. Yeah, he had time to waste. He could have pumped up the crowd for a second before getting a second hand on there probably. And I like that drop knee. Yeah, I like it too. And I even saw him when he turned back around, he kind of did the calm down hands. He's like, all right, we're good. Nobody panic here. I'm definitely going to try and steal those shorts from him, though. That's a guarantee. Yep. Absolute guarantee. And you can see also the diversity of that rose block apparel. I feel like I've seen 10 different iterations of that shirt so far in this competition.
Yeah, that's a good point. About 2 minutes to go, I see a little bit of panic in Rena's face. I don't think she's now climbing as calmly or confidently as you would expect.
This toe hook is interesting. That could work, but then your feet have to travel so much further to stab. So I'm not too sure about that one. Maxime Terrien, very strong climber, really high finger strength. And he's got that little foot chip, that invisible foot chip we were mentioning before. Can he get the zone?
Making room to match.
Oh, he's trying real hard. Oh.
Yeah, it's a sapping move. You go into that as a Gaston, then you have to really fight the sort of open position. And you saw him move his hands. And so Kaya Taylor Ainsley.
Okay, she's matching it, no problem. Okay, just one more move. Yeah.
One move to go.
The hardest move.
Can she get the foot up? No, not quite.
Yeah, those pinches really, really drain you.
Oh, and Rena has done the opening move into the zone.
Yeah.
So this is now only really the third person we've seen even take an attempt at the finish move of this boulder. Actually, only the second. Really, only Angelina was here.
Yeah, we saw.
We have a couple of zones.
A last-minute zone on that one, but yeah, not another attempt. And it's tough when you only have one attempt on that finish move. Yeah. You're trying to make it count, and that can make it worse.
And this is going to be the only attempt. 25 seconds to go. And this boulder climbs so slowly at the top.
Yeah.
Rena Gao needs to drive this right foot.
Oh, very, very good attempt. And I hope she's not too disappointed in how excellent that was executed. Just the slightest angle too far away from the wall.
Yeah, I hear you on that. So, there's not doing the boulder. And then there's almost doing the boulder on your last try. What would you rather have, Madison, going into boulder 2? In the float, I know you try and remove boulder 1 as soon as you can, but what would you rather have? What's worse or better for your confidence? Is like, oh, I almost did the boulder. Oh, I almost did the boulder.
Yeah, probably not almost doing the boulder.
Right.
I think that also leaves the door open. Like maybe other athletes are also getting that far on it. If you're really far away, maybe there's a chance that everyone else is really struggling with it. So we've got Babette Roy on women's 1.
And Maddie Rodriguez.
Yeah.
A couple of flashy climbers climbing next to each other. That's going to be fun to hang out with for the next 4 boulders. Sean McCall out on 2. Amelia Callanan, and then Ugo Jacob, Yingtong, and Avery down on 3 and 4. I would argue this is the Sean McCall boulder simply because it's pure pulling.
That finger strength, of 20 plus years of competing. I'm sure it's been more than that. I don't know how old he was when he started, but he's, I think, 36, 37 at this point. So it must be 30 years.
It's got to be 30. Yeah. I mean, I've been climbing 35.
Oh, Amelia with the fastest top I have ever seen on that boulder.
My goodness.
Yeah, no struggle at all. She knew exactly what to do in that position. That's very interesting because it's one of those moves that is not obvious. And Babette is struggling a little bit with the first move, but of course, so is everyone.
Jacob Elliott, this is what I want to see. Boulder number 4, Jacob Elliott looking really good on, I think, his first attempt. So squeezing the pinches and not getting out.
Yeah,
Okay.
and so there is a thumb catch on one of those pinches, and it is dual text. So your kind of thumb is on the dual text part. So when he flipped his left hand to undercling it, he now had 4 fingers on a dual text hold and 1 thumb on friction.
Not
so
good.
I can see how it slipped.
Yeah, absolutely. Not
Matt
what
Rodriguez,
we're looking for.
Potentially overcomplicating the beginning of this boulder, but we're still into the meat of it now.
And Babette sticking that move on her only second or maybe third try.
Yeah.
So we're going to get our third look at the finished move of this boulder.
And we've got only 2 athletes left to go on both sides now.
The business of the business.
Yeah.
Moving very, very carefully, which is what you need to do here.
Shaking a little bit with that left leg, but I feel like she does a lot of leg work in training. I think. Oh, yeah.
Wow. As her hand went up, I did not think she was going to have the pressure to hold that.
Yeah, I thought it would have to be the
class.
thumb.
Yeah. Class top from Babette. Wow. Love to see it. Wow, that's a really good top. Immediately rockets you to the front.
Well, she's also so much shorter. So the lever there, like she's holding it so high above her head, like the tension that goes all the way down to your shoulder.
Yeah, I feel it in my
down
elbow
into
just
your,
watching.
into your lats. Like your whole body is like tense when you're grabbing a hold like that.
Yeah.
Okay, Matt Rodriguez.
Matt Rodriguez.
Yeah, he's going to need a top here potentially, although I do think he's got some strength to do some of the power boulders as well. And he's got some time to kind of play around with where he wants to put his hand there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think his foot came off not by design.
No.
But it obviously has been the position we wanted to see.
Yeah, when you've got your hand on the zone or your foot on the zone there, it makes it a lot more comfortable.
Yeah.
Hugo Dorval.
This is looking good. Now we're back up to, can he get the foot to stay? If the right foot stays, can he make this position work? He gets it through a reach. 1, 2, and then 3 fingers. Hugo Dorval, can you match? Trying to readjust the feet, a little heel scum, everything. Throwing the kitchen sink at boulder number 3.
Yeah.
Wow.
Amazing.
The second top of boulder number 3.
And that is
Hugo
just,
Dorval.
yeah, that will just propel him up in the rankings. Not quite to first place. Leo does actually have 2 tops so far, and Hugo did not top the first boulder. So he's got all the zones, though, so that's always a good position. But having 2 tops, I think, is at this point in the competition, I think we can call it. It's very secure in finals if you have 2 tops.
Yeah, 100%. Sean looking frustrated with 45 seconds to go. He has not made the progress that we were expecting.
And I haven't seen Jake on the wall in a while, which means he was resting this entire time. He put a big attempt on. He's got full his energy left, and it's just so hard.
Yeah.
You know, he rested as much as he possibly could there. I think Sean is also, like, he is obviously coming off of his shoulder injury, and it's a big shouldery move into that, that left hand. I can't remember what shoulder it was, or if it matters.
Yeah, maybe it doesn't matter just because of the press position. I saw him shrug to someone like, what do you want me to do there?
Yeah.
But at the same time, there are still, like, there's 2 boulders to get a top on. So he's in that place where Sean knows how good he is.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh my God, are the boulders not getting done, or am I not doing the boulders? And I remember, and this has stuck with me for years and years and years and years and years, and he said depending on the level of competition, he would walk away from a boulder with the knowledge that, okay, well, if I can't do it, like 8 other people aren't doing it. So I'm okay to walk away. But now, maybe that time away and how strong the young guns are, that's going to be maybe a bit of an issue.
Yeah, you definitely need to stay, like, not just like watching the Canadians, but competing side by side with them and doing the same boulders to really understand the field like that.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Sienna Chow, Kinder McNamee.
So Kinder is our reigning boulder national champion. Definitely needs to be pointed out immediately. He's a little bit of pressure from that, but at the same time, he's starting to become one of the older people on our
Isn't
team.
that insane?
Yeah, I think he's
not okay.
22, 23.
It's not okay, Madison.
Yeah. Rina Gao, first try, very powerful climber. So yeah, she's got the toe hook and she has to release it very aggressively, but she's got the strength to hold it there.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, Oscar up into the men's, probably one of the most difficult boulders of the day.
And then let's see, Kinder, I think this kind of slow, careful movement suits him.
Yeah.
And I think he'll want to climb this with a bit of control.
I know they don't like crimps maybe as much as slopers, and this is a mix. It's got both. He would be very well suited to the jump method.
That smear match we haven't seen, and that should show you how happy he was on that open-handed side pull.
Just keep going.
What is that foot position?
Oh no, he needed one more bump of the hand.
Yeah, thought he had enough of a press. Oh my
TJ
goodness.
so close on men's 4.
We heard the crowd.
Oscar
looking
okay into this last move. Let's see if he can do it.
Oscar Boulder is going to top boulder number 2. First top of the night on boulder number 2. Looking very, very good. Just the way he dropped through those crimps and didn't lose any core strength. That's like things that you and I look for that maybe you don't notice at home, is subtle changes in body position to tell you how comfortable he was in that hold. He was like, oh, let me just ride my foot down real casual like.
And there's so many different skills being tested on that boulder. You know, you got the power element, you got the crazy crimp element, got this coordination jump with a little bit of a pump. So it's definitely shows a lot about you as a climber to be able to top that boulder. And I think that was his second attempt.
I think so.
2.5 minutes left, so it couldn't have been more than that.
No. And what we've got is with 2.5 minutes, I see TJ shaking out a lot down there. I see Sophie King.
Yeah, it looks like Kaya's working her way through it. Maybe we could see something here. Kaya's a taller climber for sure. I think that's going to help a lot in this boulder. Although she's trying to find some place to put her feet. Yeah, she just falls going for that blocked hold. Kinder, is he going to make a change into his next? Oh, yeah, he's getting more comfortable, you can see.
As you get to the top of that hold, it starts to become a good pull.
Simultaneous top with Rina as well. And we got another athlete up into the final moves on boulder number 3, women's 3.
And TJ Foley sticks the crimp on boulder number 4. Are we going to see the first?
Oh
my goodness.
I think you got to set your feet, because when you're that pumped, I don't know that you can take a swing off of that finish hold. There's no jib on it. It's just friction.
Yeah, and it's bad. The top of the wall still kicks back about 10 to 15 degrees there. It doesn't go vertical.
Yeah, and I think that's probably the last. I mean, there's a minute left. It's last boulder. But he's definitely, could use the top to be a bit more comfortable in that final. He's in 4th place right now, but we've got a couple more athletes, one more athlete still to go, and definitely more boulders to put on everyone else's scorecard that's still in the middle of their round.
Exactly. So I mean, he has to try it again. It climbs pretty quickly. I imagine he'll take it down to 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Sienna not getting out of the opening move. So that's maybe a surprise. And we have a guest that we're going to bring in. So I'm going to swap you out on the next transition. And we're going to bring in Guy to give us a little bit of insight into maybe the mindset of what Kinder's going through between Boulder 1 and Boulder. And Boulder 2 is going to be a fight.
Oh,
so
and
it'll be a good one. TJ Foley.
Home crowd, he sticks it again. What's he going to change?
Can he find some footwork here?
Yes.
Baby toe hook.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my goodness.
No, he just waited too long.
Ran out of gas. I love that little toe hook. It held him in there, but he was just unable to make it stick. Gosh, that's hard work. All right, so now there is our last 2 climbers on boulder number 1. It's going to be Victor Baudrin and Elnaz Rekabi. She'll be coming out. And then Matt Rodriguez. Sean is on 3. Hugo is on 4. And then Babette Roy, Emilia, and Yingtong Chi on boulder number 4. Hey, how's it going?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm all right. I'm all right. So you are not climbing in Boulder because you got picked up an ankle sprain and you didn't want to land on it. You could have just flashed all the boulders.
Yeah, I didn't want to risk that.
Didn't want to risk that because you are going to climb in lead starting on Sunday. So you wanted to not risk a further injury.
Yeah, I'm super psyched for lead.
You've seen now, you've been here all day, you've been watching people climb the boulders, and you know your brother better than anyone else. You guys train together basically full-time still, yeah? What do you think, sort of watching now as we see Matt Rodriguez on boulder number 2, what do you think his approach is going to be to a boulder like that?
I think it's going to probably be the same right hand up, jump up to the left Gaston, sort the feet out, and go up. I don't know how good those crimps are.
Right.
So we'll see how it is. Kinder often prefers slopers.
Yep.
So we will see how.
We'll see how he
goes.
decides to move through the crimps.
Yeah.
Victor Boulder, as we might expect, looking very, very good on boulder number 1.
Yeah.
What did you think about sort of Guy's, or what do you think about Kinder's approach to boulder number 1 between the first try and the second try? Did he make the adjustment you were expecting him to make?
Yeah. Honestly, I think I was the most nervous to watch him on that one because there was so many, like the tops were racking up.
Yeah.
I was like, I knew it was a lot about beta. Like, you got to keep it together.
Yeah.
Please find the right beta. And I was so
Matthew
nervous.
Rodriguez has just done boulder number 2 in great form. He struggled so much on the opening move on his first try, but he's really pulled that together. Matt Rodriguez has put a top away.
Nice.
Sean is still working. Number 4 has just been really, really hard. Elnaz doing basically what everyone else has done, which is a long time to solve the opening of boulder number 1.
But Bet's like second or third. Impressive.
Yeah, that was fantastic. And she just walked off of boulder number 2. Boulder number 2 has not been a challenge for half the field.
No, no.
And we'll see what Hugo Darval now down in the corner. He is a powerful climber.
Very good
working through these pinches, yeah. The sequence here, there's so many holds to choose from.
Yeah, you can get lost in the maze.
This is good. Turns it back around to an undercling.
And grab this one, sort the feet up.
Yeah, that's looking good.
There we go, big move here to the penultimate hold. Out.
Just not enough maybe drive from the feet.
Yeah.
It's hard to see. Obviously, we know angles are tricky, but Maddie and I were standing under that, and those holds all get worse and worse and worse when you get into 45-degree cave. But that's a good work. I mean, 2 minutes left. He'll probably wind it down for one more. I suspect that's what Sean is doing.
Yeah.
Elnaz is just going to keep throwing herself at the opening move until she sticks it.
Oh, nope.
Oh, just trying to take a different approach.
Yeah.
So Sean doing a little bit of brushing. This boulder 3 has proved to be I mean, 2 and 3 and 4 have all obviously looked quite difficult for the men, but boulder 3 has appeared to be the most ready to be topped out of those last 3 boulders. It seems to be that if you can get through the sequence just right, get your feet under you, then that boulder comes out with maybe just a little less physical effort than 2 or 4.
Yeah.
Where they come down to being like, how much gas do you have in the tank?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think number 3 looks more like whole body physical, whereas 2 and 4 look very like finger dependent.
Yeah, very dependent. So Sean now with 50 seconds to go.
I'll probably get on like pretty soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So into that press position, into this sort of thumb undercling. And it's a neat move to try the start of that boulder, but something about it just doesn't seem to be agreeing with the way that he is trying to get at it. And then we're going to see, I think, Emilia now getting up into the business of boulder number 3.
This last move seems to be escaping so many people.
Yeah. And it's that right there.
Yeah. Hetty is, just fell off. Last attempt for Hugo.
Back to the swap.
He's looking tired. He's looking tired. Come on, Hugo. Looking really tired.
Yeah, you can. You're spot on. You can see in the body language.
Yeah.
Yes, he's still on the boulder, but he's not yanking the way he should be yanking. And Elnaz is going to have to walk away without a top of number 1, which is not a ticket to the finals by any means, but it does shake your confidence a little bit. It's the opening boulder.
Yeah. Very different from the men's, where boulder 1 is getting a lot of tops. For the woman, there's like 1 top.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. Sort of the reverse effect. All right, so now, Kinder and boulder number 2. So as you say, not a big fan of crimping necessarily, and there's a couple of really burly
Some
crimp
really small
moves
crimps,
on this
yep.
thing. We are done with boulder number 1. There's no more athletes climbing boulder number 1, so we can focus a little bit on the right-hand side of the wall. I'm definitely curious to see Oscar on 3. And I mean, I'm curious now. We have so many strong athletes right now that we're excited to see all of them. So let's talk me through Kinder and his attempt here on boulder number 2.
So, undercling, gonna go up to the first move. Looks like it's a bit of accuracy, so that might be a little bit challenging. We'll have to see. He's strong, so the shoulder move should be okay. But we shall see. Okay, so
Just maybe a bit too far away.
Yeah.
In the background, Oscar
pull himself
Boulder.
making some good moves on
good
number
progress.
3.
And Marina Gao now getting into the business.
I want to see a chop on this one so badly.
Yeah, you and me both.
Yeah.
I really want to see a top on that for sure. So now, what's Kinder thinking in terms of fitness? So how long do you think he's going to let the clock run down? He only sort of pulled on 2 holds.
Yeah.
You don't want to wait too long. Oscar Boulder with a top
Nice.
of boulder number 3. That's only the 3rd top we've seen. That's going to put him in a good spot. All right, so Kinder getting back on 3 minutes now on the clock.
So yeah, crimps struggling a little bit.
So you see, I'm watching him reset that foot a little bit on the volume. Is he just trying to find purchase, or is he trying to find the right angle to pop up to that Gaston with?
Could be both. Could be both. I think once he gets the Gaston and he can sort his feet out, I'm on the higher hold. And I think it is a bit of accuracy as well, because there is like a little divot inside those holds. So getting that crimp should be.
What's he saying to himself right now in this rest, in maybe this minute he's taking? What's he telling himself?
I'm not entirely sure.
Oh, come on, you know what he's thinking. You know what he's
I
thinking.
just use my mind reading power
Okay,
right
yeah.
now. I think he knows this is like a bit of a weakness boulder of his.
Okay.
So it's like trying hard, finding the crimps, fully committing into the move.
Yeah.
Which
Exactly
he's
right.
done now.
Yeah, that is a little bit more explosivity.
And now this part should suit him a little bit more. So we'll see. And getting the zone on this one I
Zone
think
is
is quite
huge.
important.
Yeah.
Okay. I'd say probably do it. Okay. Heel hook. Go up to this one. So I think
Ooh.
Yeah. So with that one, I think a lot of people have put like a toe hook either on the right or on the left. So I think that would be a smart adjustment.
A good adjustment.
Yeah.
And he'll go a minute and a half. He'll probably wind it down for one more try.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Sienna Chow now getting into the finish position, finds the knee bar.
Nice.
And the long reach. Didn't look quite as comfortable as some of the taller climbers in that position, but she does get the fingertip match to make it work. Everybody resting right now.
Yeah.
Sophie King had been making good progress. Max, medium progress. And then Oscar with the top of number 3.
Nice.
But Maxim also letting the clock wind down. Super physical boulders. Very taxing.
Yeah.
Got to take that extra time. How hard is it to force yourself to take that extra 10 or 15 seconds of rest?
It's hard.
Yeah.
Especially when it's the clock's rounding down. But at the same time, you're like, do I give 2 semi-good attempts? Or do I give 1 really good attempt? And it's like, it takes time. For me, it took doing poorly in a round and realizing that if I had taken just 1 attempt, it would have been a big difference. And now it's like, now you know.
The full learning. Yeah. All right, so this is going to be the last try.
Okay. Kinder has stuck the move again. Max is pulling on. Oh!
Sophie King is also making progress. Lots of things are happening right now. Kinder's looking over his shoulder at the clock. And it might run out on him. That's 5 seconds now.
Yeah.
Wow, everybody with a good last burn and getting run down by the clock. That is, I mean, it's it never stops, right? The clock
No.
just rolls on and on and
Yeah,
on and
yeah.
on and on.
But I'm impressed. Got the zone.
Mhm.
I feel like that was like a not 100% certain. So I think that was
That was very, very kind way for you to say that. It's like, I believe in my brother, but
Yeah.
if the boulder is a weakness
Yeah.
in the category of weakness, then it's something you have to be
Yeah.
pretty confident of, knowing that you're, like, I tried really hard, but, okay, if that's my one that is going to be the hardest, then I'm going to move on.
Yeah.
So you think then he's going to like the slopers on 3?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes, he is.
Yeah.
I love that. All right, Elnaz and Victor out on 2. Babette and Matt Rodriguez are on 3. Amelia Callanan and Sean McCall out for his last boulder.
Sean's strong on pinches.
Strong on
We shall
pinches. He, I think he needs a top at this point. I haven't had the results up in a little while.
Topped the first climb. Last, it was a bit of a buzzer beater. Did he get zone on the second climb?
He did not.
And no zone on this third climb.
No.
Yeah, he's
So right now he's sitting in 12th, but getting
10 points would give him.
a 1 top puts you immediately into 7th. So
Okay.
there's room. There's
Yeah.
room. Victor
Victor,
also
Victor.
struggling, and Babette looking good right
Oh.
away.
Might just see our first top here. Don't want to jinx it.
You might have already jinxed it, but that's the
come on.
match that's
Come
proven
on.
to be the most
Come
trouble.
on. Oh, so close.
Yeah, the
That looks
last
close.
hold, the last hold on that's not very good. Did you have a good look at that boulder? Or?
No, it looks like it's like a kind of a slopey-ish crimp.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
All the boulders have a bit of fight to them. Here's Sean now up into the middle of the pinches.
Come on, Sean. You got this. Nice.
Just testing the holds out.
Oh, doing the Swammer shuffle. Nice.
Yep.
Flipping.
Oh.
Probably want to flip
Yeah.
to the higher green. Nice little bicycle heel.
Yeah.
Okay,
so
Sean.
many foot choices down here.
Super powerful move.
Just missed it. Shorted
Yeah.
a little bit.
And it's so powerful. Like, and it's long too. Like, you're doing a lot of micro moves.
Yeah, and that's a really good point to make, is that the number of times that they're switching hands or choosing to go like from a toe to a heel to a toe again without making a lot of upward progress can be really taxing.
Yeah.
Victor Baudrin looking really good
Keeping
here,
his feet. Nice.
teeing it up the last move.
Come on, Victor. Don't slip.
That left foot, which has
Yeah.
proven to be an issue for everybody.
Yeah.
Also, let's have a look at Amelia Callanan coming around the
Making
corner
moves.
on 4.
I've seen one person form the last move of this one.
Yeah, and no
and it's
tops.
looked powerful. It's looked really,
Yeah,
really powerful.
yeah. the holds are bad. The
Yeah.
crimps are bad. There's a lot going on the top of women's 4, and it's a long boulder as
Yeah.
well.
Honestly, I don't think we're used to such like long, steep boulders at nationals. Like, not a lot of gyms have such a wall like that.
Yeah, I agree with you that this is, and the modern climbing gym is tipped more vertically.
Yeah.
And so if it's not in your training space either,
Yeah.
you don't spend a lot of time on your hands, you get really good at that mid-angle stuff.
Yeah.
But this is now really testing your overall fitness, stamina. It's the end of the round. How
yeah.
hard did you have to try on boulders 2 and 3, which in this case is very hard. Babette wasting not a lot of time getting back up into the last move of this boulder.
Nice. Come on.
Control the match. And beside her, Maddie Rodriguez getting into...
Okay, Babette. You got this. Come on.
Just missed it again.
Okay, Matthew.
Matt Rodriguez electing
Going
to
for the
match. We have
last. Come
not
on.
seen that yet.
We got this. Come on. You're so close.
Careful footwork.
Nice.
Matthew Rodriguez with a top on boulder number 3. And Sean on his last attempt. 30 seconds to go now. Sean McCall, can he rush through this? Typically likes to climb fast. We haven't seen an opportunity for him to be able to do that
Come
yet.
on. Come on, Victor. You got this. Come on. No.
Victor just misses. Can Sean make
Come
this
on,
work?
Sean.
20 seconds now.
No.
Yeah, you saw that little rock and that
Yeah,
half
yeah.
of a foot slip. Oh my goodness. All right, we're going to keep you on for one more. We're going to get you
Okay.
through
Let's
Kinder
watch-
on
let's
boulder
watch
number
Ken.
3, which you did say, oh yeah, he is
Hopefully I
going to
don't eat-
like these slopers.
I hope I don't eat my words.
That's part of sitting in this chair.
Yep.
Is that you have taken on great responsibility.
Oh, yeah.
And with great responsibility comes risk. So that is the clock running down. Sean is going to make the long walk back to isolation. It's hard when you haven't topped a boulder. That feeling I know for sure. All right, we are just down into the corner now. Only boulders 3 and 4 are on the radar. So I imagine, Basim, if you're listening, if we could just pull up a split, Kinder and I are going to talk about all the boulders on the wall, then hopefully everybody at home can see them.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, I love brushing the finish hold. I love the
It's
confidence that comes from brushing the finish hold. Oh my goodness, Rena wasting no time at all. And she's just like, you know what, this boulder's not complicated. I'm just going to grab all of the holds in order.
Let's see how this first attempt is. Boom.
Okay. Just a bit
Ejected.
fidgety, yeah, trying to get that match locked in. And Rena does not make the transition from foot forward to foot behind. Oscar with heels up early.
Oscar loves his heel hooks. Ah. Nice.
All right.
Come on, Kendall.
Got up pretty
He's got
high.
that.
Yeah.
You can see him nodding to
Yeah.
himself. He's
So
like,
that nod is I've felt the holds.
Yeah.
I might have missed them this time, but now I know how good they
Yeah,
are. That's
yeah,
where that's coming
for sure.
from. Yeah, for sure. And he's going to have a look at the clock, have a bit of a think about it. And I'm just going to put you on the spot. You're in a semifinal. Your fourth boulder is right beside you. Do you take a sneaky look?
Not really, honestly. No.
Because it's the rules, or because you don't want to get it in your head while you're still busy working on boulder 3?
Yeah, I feel like it's like I'm so focused on boulder 3 that
Yep.
I'm like, I don't want to waste that like even 10 seconds
Right.
taking a look at another boulder.
Okay. Maybe a little bit too much outward momentum.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, super tough to control when you're moving that powerfully outward. Oscar back into the heel hooks, and Arena into this position that she got through but couldn't get out of. Oscar now looking pretty good. My goodness.
Yeah. How much time do we have?
About 2:20.
Okay. Stressful stuff.
It is stressful. It is stressful stuff. When you're trying to decide whether you need 2 more tries on a boulder or 3 more tries on a boulder, where do you start to get in your own head a little bit and be like, well, I haven't done the first move yet, but I should do it next try, so I
Yeah.
can wait an extra 30 seconds.
I mean, I think part of it comes from how powerful the move is. Like, oh, that was so close.
That was close.
And it comes from how powerful the move is and how much energy it's sapping from me. Like the boulder that Kinder's on right now doesn't look like it's like sapping a lot of energy from him. The boulder that Oscar is on, that one looks like it's sapping energy.
Yeah. So that perspective comes down to, all right, can I afford a few extra tries? Because
Yeah.
it's really just the first move. I'm sacrificing some skin, but not too much else. Right?
Yeah.
Let's see,
Okay,
can you dial this
is
in?
it.
Yes, it is.
Nice.
And at
Should
quick
be able to do it from
campus,
here.
not even using, there is a foothold down there. Gets the heel hook put together.
This top should be good.
Yeah,
Just needs to keep it together.
good strong press.
He loves these moves.
Yeah. I mean, I would argue you both do.
Oh,
Really
yeah.
good stuff from Kinder. Wonderful top of
Nice.
boulder number 3. The press to the finish was as good as everyone we've
Yeah.
seen. You guys both have that really, really strong cross-shoulder stability that has made you top
Yeah.
a lot of boulders over
Yeah.
the years. Let's see what Oscar can put together on what's got to be his last try. Can he stick the crimp?
This is the move. This is the.
Oh,
Oh,
he does.
Oh, come on.
Oscar Boldrin.
Come on.
Can
One
he
more
figure
move.
out the position?
Oh, the nice heel hook. Oh, nice, nice. But he's so tired.
Oh, my
God.
goodness. I agree. He is so tired. He looks so good there. Both hands came off at the same time.
Be interesting the time, like, how long did he spend on that boulder? Like
total?
1 minute, a minute and a half?
Maybe a minute and a half.
Yeah.
Guy, thanks for hanging out with us.
You.
Thanks for bringing us
Thank
a little family insight into your brother's mindset. And I think that's his ticket into the final, so excited to watch him.
Thank you.
All right, time has run out on everybody, and it is just starting for our second last group. So now we have Victor Boulder on 3, Elnaz on 3, Matt Rodriguez and Babette Roy on boulder number 4. How about that for some last-minute, almost heroics from Oscar, and a really nice top from Kinder on boulder number 3.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see how this is shaping out. I think we're definitely, maybe we're going to see an upset or two, but I think for the most part our athletes are performing as we know they can, and we're seeing a lot of tops. I think we're about to see Matt Rodriguez pull out something very special here.
Ooh, I like
I
that.
have seen him pull hard on boulders that look very much like this in the past. Although that was some questionable beta. I'm not gonna lie. I'm okay. It's okay to say that.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I know him. He's gonna be fine with me saying these things.
Absolutely. I would agree with you. That was definitely some questionable beta.
Well, yeah, as national team athletes competing on the circuit, we do have a higher expectations from their route reading. So I wouldn't expect to see something like that.
Meanwhile, Babette is looking like she's climbed this boulder already. This is really good stuff.
Yeah, she's very technical with her heel hooks, for such a powerful climber.
Ooh.
That's interesting. She just let go there.
Maybe she got too wide. It looked like the compression was a bit too wide and hung on to that opening hold for one move too long.
Yeah.
It's tough to know for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, good stuff. Victor, the immediate compression on those slopers took all the swing out of the equation.
Yeah, I think he's very good at these bad holds. Like somehow he's got such big hands, I think, that he's very adept to holding these types of holds.
Lots of surface area.
Yeah.
Which is a thing. More friction means more confidence on big sloping holds. Victor Boulderon with the ease into that finish position in a very careful match. Great stuff. I mean, absolutely punched his ticket through.
I'm excited to see Elnaz on this. She's a bit of a wild card for us. Like, we don't see her, I don't think she's ever competed in senior nationals before.
Meanwhile, Matthew Rodriguez into the finish move.
Oh,
he
and
does
this
make
looks
the
very
foot.
good.
It does indeed.
And
Matthew
he does it.
Rodriguez, first top of boulder number 4, and you called it. You thought he was going to do something very special. I saw him shake his head like he thought he should have flashed that.
Yeah.
But that was something very special from Matty Rodriguez. Wow. Just powered through the middle and it's such an interesting contrast sometimes between climbers that we know have similar strengths, but the way he did those last 2 moves made everybody who, even climbers that you would say, oh, like on a simple box, Oscar Baudron is physically stronger than Matt Rodriguez, right?
Yeah.
Can do more pull-ups, can like throw more weight around. But Matt just made that last move look like he had power to spare.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Like, again, like maybe some of these men do have like just like larger hands. Like they've got like they're a little bit more adept to some of these types of holds than other men. Like Sean, I know, has got a smaller hands, right? Like, so this kind of thing does play into it, but like pinches do seem to be a strength of Matt's. So Babette, is she? Yeah, she's gonna have to. Oh, she's right into that as a Gaston instead.
Interesting, yeah, and much closer together in her hands and matching in there. So just taking a few extra moves, but a low and skipping the opening bump.
And one more move to go, or 2, depending on how you do this move here.
Yeah. So
And
as you
shoulder
said,
buster.
shoulder press, Babette Roy in the finish position.
Doesn't look like it's over
Oh,
yet.
the last, she doesn't look comfortable.
Oh no.
She doesn't look
Yeah.
comfortable. The feet, you had mentioned maybe some of the women to the shoulder press position
Yeah.
because it's a peeling small box.
Yeah.
But she couldn't quite get her feet to work.
I
And
think,
Elnaz
she needs to
now.
get her left foot higher.
Yeah, Elnaz into the finish move.
Oh, yeah, just a bit of a dry fire there. So that's 30 seconds left. So I don't think we're going to see a top on that boulder after all.
No.
But that was probably the closest we've seen. So I think she's already demonstrated she's definitely a worthy competitor in this field.
Absolutely. And Babette walking by, not going to take another try on that really taxing boulder. She's happy with the zone.
Yeah, when immediately some of these athletes are now into recovery mode too. So they also have to think, okay, my round's been good enough. I know that I'm in. Some of them kind of have that intuition. And so am I going to spend more skin trying to do a victory lap and send the boulder for everyone? Or am I going to save that for the show and finals?
Yeah, good point. There is, you got to take all of your ego and just move it out of the way. Like it doesn't really belong when you're like, oh, but I really want to show people that I'm capable of doing this boulder. That's not the point.
That said, the final, of course, it's the ego time. It's time to show off. It's time to have fun. But we'll get there when we get there.
We'll get there when we get there, exactly. And I'm excited. I was talking to, you might be able to see it in the next shot. They're just testing the lights. So they got lights behind the wall, and then we're going to dim the lights in the room. So we're going to go to a bit of a finals show, which we don't always get at nationals. Not every gym is sort of equipped to be able to turn the lights on, have spotlights, that kind of thing. I like it. I like when we make a little bit more of a spectacle. We get a little bit more zoned in on the boulders.
Yeah, honestly, every time there's ever a final round, it's still light out. You know, you got light coming in through the windows. It just doesn't feel right. You know, all these, we like to mimic the World Cups typically, right? That's what the real show of a final is in this sport. So having it mimic, you know, that darkness, that spotlight, the scoreboard, the headshots, all that sort of stuff. Really makes these athletes feel that this is, you know, every year we're kind of turning more into a professional show here at National. So I think this is the biggest step up we've had in all these years. I
agree, and it makes the athletes remember that we're all here for them. So they're the show.
Yeah.
You know, they're the reason we're watching.
Yeah.
Kinder's taken a very long time to look at the start of this boulder.
So I like that. When you're going through a power boulder, you really need to have, like, this is where you do need to get a really solid sequence. You don't want to be messing around on the wall and feeling it out. So I'm all for that. That can always make a way better flash burn.
I think what did he call it? The Squamish shuffle.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little like over readjustment.
Okay, so he's looking really good on this.
Yes. Wow. Is he ever? A bicycle here. And a little sneaky heel.
He's heel hooking on dual text right now. Just so we know. Okay, he doesn't like that.
No.
Oh, yeah.
My goodness. Kinder McNamee crossing to the finish, maybe even as designed. It looked really good.
Potentially. I mean, the hold is tilted a little bit more to be more inclined for left hand, but it is also like just vertical. It's just basically horizontal hold. Yeah. That was great thinking on the fly, probably there. It kind of looked like he was setting up for something different.
And the amount of time that he was on those last two holds to then change his mind and make it happen, that is such good climbing from Kinder McNamee.
Yeah.
Wow. Reminding the field that he has been on this podium.
Yes, yeah. And so secure into that final round, of course. But that is a little bit of his lead strength coming in there, to be able to shuffle around and fix maybe a mistake at the top of the pumpiest boulder in this round.
And so Sienna is going to take, she's got 2 minutes, so lots of time on the clock for her to wind down and think about what she wants to do here. I'm going to pull up the results and let you know what we're looking at so far. So the men semifinals. Right now, Matt Rodriguez, 4 tops. Oscar Baudron, 3 tops. Kinder, 3 tops. And then Leo, 2. Vic with 2 tops. Hugo Dorval, 1 top in 6th. Ian Tan. TJ Foley, 8th. And then 9. Just missing is going to be Jacob Elliott.
By count back to qualifiers, yeah. That always stings a little bit more. When there was, like, you know, you did basically as much as you could to make the final, and it comes down to a different round.
Sienna climbing a bit more square through here into this, that really getting more and more broad. So the danger of bumping out more than 1 or 2 times is that you get outside into this really stretched out position, and you make that the closing move much more difficult. And she did look a little bit too broad between her hands there to be able to cross, where Babette just went Gaston and a fidgety match, but functional.
Yeah, definitely not by design. You know, they blocked it for a reason because you're supposed to be coming in hard with your left hand. Yeah. But that's how it goes. You know, root setters don't actually mind it that often. You know, as often as you think. You'd expect root setters to be upset when you veer from their beta. But oftentimes they're just impressed and excited to see different ways that they didn't think to climb their boulder.
So Sienna, I think, is going to give it one more. She is going to pull up in here. She's going to have to move a bit quick. It is a long boulder.
But she hasn't secured zone yet, has she?
No, she has not.
So yeah, definitely worth the last ditch of her. Yeah. And it's just so hard after all these boulders, like. Yeah,
and she was campusing there, which is sometimes a sign of desperation, trying to move quickly. So a little quick look at the women's side. Babette Roy sitting at the top of the field, the only woman with 2 tops thus far. Sophie King, Emilia Callanan, as you said, has come back and made it work. Elise Villeneuve, Evangelina Briggs in 5, Adriana Jokelson in 6, Rena Gow in 7, and right now Avery McDonald sitting in 8th place. And with Elnaz has the ability to put herself into the final on this boulder.
So
and I believe a zone will do it.
Yeah. Top would be like a good show of like, I'm here to potentially win this thing.
Yeah. And Victor Baudrin is, he is doing he doesn't know it, but he's doing a victory lap on this boulder.
Yes, that's always the best, you know? Like, and oftentimes, it's not a great show, but if athletes are extremely confident that they're in, you know, they may choose to put just one little burn on it or even 0 burns. You know, I've seen athletes just fully not, you know, start their last boulder.
Right.
So, of course.
Which is bold.
Yes, it is bold, and you have to be confident. And in semis, there's no way to be sure because you just don't know what's going on. It's more of a qualifier thing or, you know, when there's an open round. But victory lap's always good. You know, there's no pressure, even though they might feel it still.
Yep. All right. And I also think for us, it's a good benchmark of where they sit versus our current field and how powerful this boulder has proven to be. We've seen it reject some very, very good climbers.
Yeah, I'm interested to see because he is, again, a lead specialist at this point while still being extremely good at bouldering. And we just saw Kinder, again, a little bit more inclined to the lead side, having you know, no difficulties with this boulder. But then again, you got Matt Rodriguez, who's not lead at all, although he may be still competing in lead nationals because it's a lot of athletes think it's just there anyway.
Victor went early to the zone.
He's very tall.
Yeah.
He is very tall. Oh, and the power scream, I can hear it from all the way over here. And Elnaz
getting through the and they're just sort of rejecting that.
It's interesting. Maybe that pinch is just way worse than it looks because the right hand is definitely good. We all know that hold is huge. It's a bit of a pinch. It's not jug. You're not like hanging around on it, but it must just be that left hand that's giving everyone so much trouble.
Yeah, I mean, when you and I were looking at the boulders, I was thinking, okay, once they get their mitts on this one, like once they sort out from toe, like feet first to feet underneath, they're just going to, some of them will just campus through here. But this is proving to be a much more difficult scenario to make that transition. And I think you're right. I think it is the left hand. The right hand, because the right hand is quite good.
Yeah. And it also is like about how they place those toe hooks. Because, yeah, they're super useful until they're not.
And yeah, she's just sort of unable to find a position where it looks like she's happy, and no one's tried to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, she's looking for a position to avoid what happened the first time, but really just at that point, it feels like she should just campus. Victor Baudrin now back up into
there we go.
The business. He makes the crimp stick.
Now, as long as he doesn't just jump for that finish hold, I think we could see something here.
High heel is going to be, yeah, careful.
Oh.
That heel, I mean, it's so high.
Yeah, it depends on what shoes you're wearing too. Like sometimes the heel is easy to pop off if they're a little bit too stiff like that. If he's got a softer shoe that's got a heel that's kind of like compressing down onto the hold and it's kind of flattening out, that's where you get more of that friction. But when his shoes are maybe a bit newer, it could make a big difference.
Yeah, for sure. I think this is going to be 1:20, so room for 1.5 more from Elnaz. Victor might just let it wind out. I mean, she's swinging around here with the power. Yeah.
Oh.
I do see, right? It is a wide move. The campus there, that you're carrying a lot of swing. And maybe Babette, as a more compact, powerful climber, got her feet up in what for her is just a better position, and that enabled her to push into that Gaston and work through the match. Although the boulder reads as feet first, cut, works some magic.
Yes. And I think we've shown there's a couple ways to do this, and there's definitely a million combinations with the feet. So, she's got, only 30 seconds left, but there is still time to figure something out. And Victor, there's quite a few attempts now on this boulder.
Yeah, he wants to do this boulder. Now we're into the realm of I'm going to do this boulder.
Yeah.
And that's Elnaz does make the move.
And
she makes it stick.
Zone,
yes.
And she's in.
Wow. She doesn't know how close she cut it. I would love to see a top to take us home. Would love to see it. Elnaz Rekabi has top boulder 4 with 5 seconds on the clock to punch her ticket into the final.
Yeah.
Her friends will immediately tell her how close she cut that.
Yeah, and we're not squeaking in now. We are in.
We are in. Yeah, from a squeak to a kicking the door open on that last attempt. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for our semi-final round here at 2026 Canadian Bouldering Nationals. Madison, thank you for hanging out. You're going to come back and we're going to do the finals together, and it's going to be awesome.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. We will, I'm just going to be bold and say hopefully we'll solve our tablet problem, so we'll be able to call the action a little bit more tighter to what we know you're watching at home. I hope you enjoyed it. We had a great time bringing it to you. Finals is at 6:30, and that's Mountain Time, so that's Calgary time. Closing thoughts? What did you see? What did you like?
Very hard round, obviously. All of the men's boulders looked extremely difficult, and yet there were less tops on the women's side. There were definitely a few tops that were, a lot of people were doing, but there were a few there's one boulder that didn't go, right? Whereas all of the men's ones did. So very interesting. I think the men are definitely all peaking, like we're seeing some very, very strong performances today from the men. I'm excited to see Elnaz in our final now that she's secured it on that last boulder. She's someone we've never seen in a Canadian final before. A lot of first-time finalists. Yeah. So that's going to be really exciting, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of athletes that are just excited to be here and don't know what to expect, and sometimes that can make the best of performances. So we may see some surprising results. We may see some expected results, but yeah, it's anyone's game, especially in the men's field. Yeah, there's every single one I think has either won nationals or have come close to nationals or is absolutely capable of winning. So it's going to be exciting.
Yeah, it's a fun time to be in Canadian climbing. There's a lot of talent that goes pretty deep into the field on both the men's and women's side. And as you say, there's a mixture of rookies, mixture of people with their first time on the big stage. And when people have the talent, and if the boulders line up and the energy is just right, you see some magic, and we see it all the time. Thanks for hanging out for the semifinal. Make sure you come back. 6:30 is going to be the presentation of athletes, and we're going to get the show underway here at Boulder Climbing in Calgary. See you then.